I'm soaking through and through. And then you handed me a towel, and all I see is you. And even if my house falls down now, I wouldn't have a clue, because you're near me.
This is Nationwide 90 FM, owned and operated by Nationwide News Network. We broadcast from our studios at 6 Bradley Avenue, Kingston 10, Jamaica. Transmitting on the FM 90 band. 90.3 from Peters Rock in St. Andrew and Murphy Hill in St. Anne. Serving Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, parts of Clarendon, St. Mary, and St. Thomas. 90.5 from Huntley in Manchester. Transmitting to St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, rural St. Andrew, and parts of St. Thomas. And 90.7 from Coopers Hill in St. Andrew and Flower Hill in St. James. Serving Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, sections of Trelawney, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Mary, Portland, and St. Anne. Nationwide 90 FM also broadcasts on the World Wide Web on nationwideradiojm.com and on Flow on channel 916. Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6 o'clock.
From the studios of Nationwide Radio, morning radio the right way. It's Nationwide This Morning.
A very good morning to you. I'm Tana Thomas. Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning, Thursday, June 27, 2024. Trade union bosses chide the PNP for its attack on two senior civil servants in the health sector. But PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell says the party has a right to demand accountability from those presiding over public resources. Epoch boss Keith Duncan says the central bank appears poised to reduce interest rates. In regional news, the U.S. National Hurricane Center is keeping a close eye on a tropical wave developing in the eastern Atlantic. In international news, protesters returned to the streets of the Kenyan capital despite tax climb down from President William Ruto. In sports, the Reggae Boys are well beaten at the Copa America in the United States. And in business, Jamaica Stock Exchange sends a delisting warning to companies that are tardy with their filings. The details after the break.
Need equipment rental, repair, or sales? The Contractor Center has you covered. We also offer epoxy installation, stamp concrete, and construction chemicals, serving commercial, industrial, construction, and residential industries. Don't let everyday challenges hold you back. Visit us at 26 Shortwood Road or online at contractorcenterja.com or call 876-968-4816.
Catch the first news of the day. A comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. The People's National Party and its professional affiliate, the Patriots, are facing fresh criticism over the group's call for the resignation of senior civil servants in the health ministry. The latest criticism comes from three trade union leaders. President of the Jamaica Civil Service Association, Tisha Clark Griffiths, has been joined by former head of the Confederation of Trade Unions, Helene Davis White, and President of UK's Vincent Morrison in objecting to the opposition's posture regarding the senior health officials. More in this report from Mahira Stewart.
Tisha Clark Griffiths had come to the defense of Permanent Secretary in the Health Ministry, Dunstan Bryan, after he faced mounting backlash online and a call for his resignation from the PNP Patriots. On Wednesday, she was joined by Helene Davis White and Vincent Morrison. Mrs. Davis White says the senior members of the PNP need to rein in the Patriots.
I think they need to set a stage as the senior politicians, because the Patriots are the younger ones, as the senior politicians to be able to say to their young colleagues that attacks on public servants should not be encouraged. And it is taken to be an attack when you call for their resignation based on information that is not whole and you don't have all the facts.
For his part, Mr. Morrison hailed the work of Permanent Secretary Bryan and CMO Dr. Jacqueline Bisseser Mackenzie. He says civil servants are protected under existing labor laws.
I want to say that I've dealt with both persons in your preamble, and I've found both persons to be what I would want to describe as outstanding public servants. I also want to make it clear that in the 70s, certain pieces of legislation were introduced. The LRID, its attendance, the Labour Code, and the Termination of Employment of the Redundancy Payment Act. You cannot, in what I call an en blanc approach, call for the dismissal of workers. And it doesn't matter whether they're permanent secretary or the janitor or whoever. The law is the law.
While all three union leaders agree that civil servants are not above criticism and reproach, Mrs. Clark Griffiths says the PNP is wrong to double down on the resignation calls.
Remember, public servants, regardless of who forms a political party, remains there. That's why they're permanent secretaries. And so whichever party forms the government work with public servants. And so it's important for us to draw a particular line. And when I was going to university, I learned the term dichotomy, which is a separation between politics and administration. And for too long, we have seen the lines cross. And what we're saying is that there are processes, understand what those processes is, and make sure that we don't interfere and to damage the character of public servants. The very public servants that you may very well be working with if the party changes.
All three union leaders stressed the need for natural justice when calling for public officials to face sanctions for perceived poor performance. Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell is doubling down on his criticism of the performance of Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Dunstan Bryan. In a statement on Wednesday, Dr. Campbell says the party's comments about Mr. Bryan are not to be interpreted as an attack on the civil service. Shalois Michael has that story.
As the war of words between the two political parties continues over the state of the public health system, several senior civil servants have been dragged into the controversy. The PNP's professional affiliate organization, the Patriots, has called for the resignation of both Mr. Bryan and the Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jacqueline Bisseser Mackenzie. It's a move roundly chastised by the Jamaica Civil Service Association, JCSA, which has cautioned against placing undue partisan pressure on civil servants. In a response on Wednesday, PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell says the party stands firmly with the civil servants and healthcare workers who are increasingly burdened by the under-resourced and understaffed public health sector.
The People's National Party stands resolutely with our civil servants and the healthcare workers who are increasingly burdened by the under-resourced and understaffed public healthcare sector. Our concern is not directed at the dedicated civil servants who are often overworked and underpaid, leaving very little room for motivation. Instead, we call upon the government, the minister, and the specific accounting officers in the Ministry of Health and Wellness to address the issue of deep-seated unaccountability and the poor stewardship of the portfolio, which continue to cost Jamaican lives.
The PNP says it is instead calling upon the government, the minister, and the specific accounting officers in the ministry to address the issues of deep-seated impunity and the poor stewardship of the portfolio. Dr. Campbell points to the failure of the ministry to account for $700 billion in appropriations over the last decade as an area of serious concern.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness has failed to account for Jamaican's $700 billion. This includes over $7 million worth of computer equipment that has gone missing, nearly $18 million spent without proper procurement documentation, and the absence of the Permanent Secretary's approval for relevant contracts. Additionally, more than Jamaican $35 million was spent on consulting services over 9 months without a competitive process or advertisement. mismanagement. The Auditor General identified numerous irregularities in the ministry's expenditure of funds allocated for the COVID-19 pandemic and noted violations of the Financial Administration and Audit Act. Does this situation not demand accountability from the top echelons of the ministry?
He called out Permanent Secretary Bryan specifically.
We are not criticizing civil servants broadly. Our concern is with the minister and a particular civil servant who has overseen this significant mismanagement. Accountability is non-negotiable, and someone must be held responsible. If not the permanent secretary and the minister, who then should the Jamaicans hold to account for this gross negligence? Those responsible for the poor stewardship of the health sector must resign.
Shaloy Smichael for Nationwide News.
Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says those persons working in the healthcare sector have a responsibility to offer the best customer service to patients. Speaking at Wednesday's post-cabinet media briefing, Minister Tufton says service providers can be more gentle in their interaction with users of the healthcare services.
And I do believe that there is a systemic issue within government where sometimes we take our customers, our clients, for granted. And in public health, despite the best efforts of the overwhelming majority of our public health servants, doctors, nurses, and others, we still have to work on showing greater levels of empathy, greater responsiveness and sensitivities to people's concerns, because more often than not, the irritation that is accompanied by the vocal expressions of disappointment are caused and triggered by very simple issues that could have been overcome by just a listening ear and a gentle response.
Minister Tufton says improved customer service in hospitals and healthcare facilities across the island is a priority for his ministry.
That's the next phase we're in. That's why we have a compassionate care program. That's why we're reviewing the internal mechanisms for complaints. And that's why I have consistently said that the next big challenge of public health is to enhance the change management so that we use the tools that have been empowered to us through the expenditures of the government to be more efficient and to demonstrate greater levels of empathy to the populace. So yes, it's a work in progress and we have to do better. Thank you.
Dr. Christopher Tufton, Minister of Health and Wellness. The Integrity Commission has submitted its annual report for the financial year 2023-2024 to the Houses of Parliament. That's according to a statement from the Commission on Wednesday. It's unclear when the report, the sixth annual report of the Commission, will be tabled. Section 36 of the Integrity Commission Act requires the Commission to submit its annual reports to Parliament not later than 3 months after the end of each fiscal year. This means that the Commission's annual reports must be submitted by the end of June each year. Hard copies of the report were submitted to the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Juliet Holness, Senate President Tom Tavares Finson, and Clerk to the House of Parliament, Colleen Lowe. The last annual report from the Integrity Commission triggered a firestorm. It noted that 6 parliamentarians and 28 public officials were under investigation for illicit enrichment. Chairman of the Economic Program Oversight Committee, EPOC, Keith Duncan, says the conditions are growing increasingly favorable for the Bank of Jamaica to reduce interest rates. Mr. Duncan is reacting to news that the country has managed to successfully maintain inflation within the target band of 4 to 6% for 3 successive months.
Inflation has been trending down. Inflation has been within the range of the Bank of Jamaica, within the 4 to 6% range over the past 3 readings, the lowest being at 5.2% most recently. The Bank of Jamaica would be a signal that they could reduce rates. I believe a determining factor and a critical input to the Bank of Jamaica reducing rates would be the signals received from the U.S. Federal Reserve.
The BOJ currently maintains an interest rate of 7%. It's believed by many in the private sector that this rate is hurting the country's growth. Mr. Duncan believes data coming from the U.S. Federal Reserve should further encourage a downward move in interest rates.
The U.S. Federal Reserve has interest rates in the 5.25 to 5.5% range, and from the market consensus, it appears that the U.S. Federal Reserve could move and to reduce rates anywhere between September and December. If that was so, then the Bank of Jamaica would be in a better position to reduce interest rates, bigger with a 7% policy signal.
Keith Duncan, chairman of the Economic Program Oversight Committee, EPOC. He was speaking with Nationwide News on Wednesday. The minister with responsibility for water, Senator Matthew Samuda, says the opposition PNP has no moral authority to criticize the Holness administration about the absence of piped water in several communities across the island. Senator Samuda says the PNP is the only government in the country's history under whose watch water pipes were laid but never connected.
The policy of the PNP was disaster where water is concerned. It's the only political party on planet Earth run pipes and don't connect them. So when them did widen Washington Boulevard, them run pipe and don't connect the pipe. And then have the nerve today to make noise about water. If you go through several Operation Pride housing schemes now, from Harbour View to Duane Park, them run pipe and don't connect the pipe. If you go through the length and breadth of this country, you look at some of the highways they built, it gets worse. Imagine building a new road and don't run no pipe. So either them don't connect the pipe or them don't run no pipe, and then them have the nerve to ask where is the water. Now Labour rights are West Kingston. Tell me if I'm not general them.
Senator Samuda was speaking to JLP supporters at the Area Council 1 meeting at the Fletcher's Land Community Centre in West Kingston on Tuesday night. He says it's the JLP administration that has done the work to connect those pipes and bring the precious commodity into people's homes across the corporate area.
In 2015, no construction now go on, Minister Mackenzie, because you were shadowing local government them time there. No construction permit now give, because nobody no want to build nothing in Jamaica, because them did workless. Look at how much big building built in a Kingston and St. Andrew, Area Council 1 since 2015. Look how the country I live up. And the country I live up started in Kingston and St. Andrew. In 2015, without no water lack off in rainy season, you need 55 million gallons a day of water in a Kingston and St. Andrew. In 2024, in rainy season, you only need 38 million gallons of water because them that did pump the water straight into the ground through the leaking pipes. Is this government fixing the pipes of Kingston and St. Andrew? Then workless and then lie.
Senator Matthew Samuda, minister with responsibility for water. Government Senator Abka Fitzhenley says Damien Crawford's suggestion that the government increase GCT and use the proceeds to provide additional funds to the education sector is a non-starter. According to Fitzhenley, the Holness administration already has in place an arrangement that's channeling unprecedented levels of funding into education.
I hear a man in the party that is led by the British man talking about they want to increase GCT by 1%. And he says he wants to do that to fund education. The Jamaica Labour Party administration is on record as allocating the highest number of resources to education in Jamaica, 20% of the national budget and 5% of GDP. And we are proud of this administration for the investment in education in Jamaica.
Speaking at the JLP's Area Council 1 meeting in Fletcher's Land, West Kingston on Tuesday, Senator Fitzhenley says the PNP has proven that only through borrowing and the imposition of new taxes can it provide the resources needed to fund critical sectors in the country. He says the PNP imposed $60 billion in new taxes on Jamaicans during its last term in office.
And we hear a senior man in the PNP talking about he wants to increase GCT and heap another $25 billion in taxes on the backs of the Jamaican people. The government of the Jamaica Labour Party will not countenance such wickedness being imposed on the people of Jamaica. We are not a government of taxation. We are a government that put in place policies that empower people to take care of themselves and their families. We won't go back to the days of the PNP, where every budget is taxes, taxes, taxes. Gone are those days. And we are proud to be the government that has gone 8 consecutive years of no new taxes.
Senator Abka Fitzhenley. And that's it for the local segment of the news. Up next, regional and international.
Did you know that many of my schoolmates have an unhealthy diet, especially at school? And now 23% of them are overweight and or obese? And so one less sugary drink at my school may mean one friend less,
or 2 or 3,
at risk of cavities or diabetes. And if we're served less foods high in saturated fats, sugar and sodium, it may reduce our risk from obesity, heart disease and high blood pressure.
The solution is simple, right? Act now.
Let's get unhealthy foods and beverages out of our schools.
A message from the Heart Foundation of Jamaica and partners.
In regional and international news, the U.S. National Hurricane Center, NHC, says that the tropical wave in the eastern Atlantic could develop into a tropical depression by the end of this week or by the weekend. The tropical wave, Disturbance 2, which is located a few hundred miles southwest of the Cape Verde Islands, is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms. NHC says some development is possible during the next several days, and a tropical depression could form over the tropical Atlantic by the end of the week or this weekend, while the system moves westward at 15 to 20 miles per hour. In international news, Kenyan police have fired tear gas to disperse groups of protesters who have started gathering again in the capital, Nairobi. There has been a heavy deployment of security forces, including the military, and roads are blocked around key buildings in the capital ahead of the protests. This comes 2 days after 22 people reportedly lost their lives in protests against tax hikes, which saw part of Parliament set alight. The next day, President William Ruto bowed to pressure and said he would withdraw the finance bill containing the unpopular tax proposals. The demonstrators had vowed to gather again in the city centre to mourn those killed. Some also vowed to march to the president's official residence, State House. And that's it for regional and international. Up next, sports.
At Design Privacy, we value relationships. Join our exclusive open DPO community and interact with privacy professionals. Share ideas, insightful challenges, and build career-boosting connections with expert advice at your fingertips. Get access to specialized tools, exclusive workshops, and case studies. Enjoy unparalleled networking. Join Design Privacy's open DPO community to expand your expertise and excel in your career. Visit opendpocommunity.com today and take your data privacy skills to the next level.
The Development Bank of Jamaica wants to see more businesses, more job creation, and better opportunities for people across Jamaica. That's why since day one, we've been dedicated to facilitating economic growth and development across all sectors, while providing funding and technical assistance to MSMEs, projects, and other businesses through our strong partnerships. Because helping to build better businesses helps to build a better Jamaican economy for everyone. Visit us at dbankjm.com for more info. DBJ, the business builder.
The Faculty of Law at UWI Mona invites you to their 10th annual symposium on law, governance, and society, navigating tradition, embracing innovation, and expanding legal frontiers. Attend online or in person at the Iberostar Rose Hall Beach Hotel, Saturday, June 29 and Sunday, June 30. Panel presentations on international law, employment law and AI, environmental law, security transactions, constitutional interpretation, transfer pricing, and more. Register at www.mona.ue.edu/law or call 876-550-2680. CLPD credits available.
Time now for your morning sports. Some football news. The Reggae Boys crashed to their second straight defeat at the Copa America in Las Vegas on Wednesday. They went down 3-1 to Ecuador in their Group B clash and are now out of contention for a place in the knockout stage. A Casey Palmer own goal gave the South Americans the lead on 14 minutes before Kendry Páez pushed them further ahead on the stroke of half-time. Mikel Antonio gave Jamaica a glimmer of hope 9 minutes into the second half with the country's first ever goal at the Copa America. But Ecuador scored a third in the 91st minute to secure all 3 points. In the other group game, Venezuela beat Mexico 1-0 to reach the knockout stage of the competition. Now, two-time Olympic sprint double champion Elaine Thompson-Herah has ruled herself out of the Paris Olympics. Thompson-Herah started the year looking to become the first woman and only the second athlete after Usain Bolt to win 100-200 double at 3 straight Olympic Games. That attempt went through the window 2 weeks ago when it was announced she would not be contesting the 200 meters at the national championships. She kept her options open in the 100 meters, but now will not contest that event after pulling out of the championships. A release from her managers, Andy Sports Management, says Thompson-Herah will not be able to defend her Olympic title, and they wish her the best going forward. Thompson-Herah finished at the back of the pack in the 100 meters at the New York Grand Prix earlier this month and had to be assisted off the track by medics. It was reported that she went to visit renowned surgeon Dr. Müller-Wohlfahrt in Germany in a last-gasp attempt to save her Olympic dream. To cricket news, South Africa created history in Trinidad and Tobago on Wednesday, reaching their first ever ICC Global Cricket Final. The South Africans were clinical in dispatching Afghanistan by 9 wickets in semi-final 1 of the ICC T20 World Cup. Afghanistan were dismissed for 56 in just 11 overs, with only one player reaching double figures. There were 3 wickets for Marco Jansen and Tabriz Shamsi. Despite losing Quinton de Kock for 5, South Africa breezed to 60 for 1 of 8.5 overs. South Africa's opponents in Saturday's final will be known today when champions England battle India in Guyana at 9:30 a.m. Jamaica time. Coach of Chapelton Maroons, Bijan Thomas, and coach of Racing United, Anthony Patrick, say avoiding relegation from the Jamaica Premier League will be their main objective for the 2024-25 season. Chapelton and Racing were promoted to the country's top league after qualifying through the Jamaica Football Championships. Chapelton beat Racing 2-1 in the final. Thomas says the team wants to do better than in their only previous appearance in the top flight in the 2022-23 season.
The only thing that we've really spoken about is that we want to start strong. The last time the club was in the Premier League, we did not have a strong start, so that is what we're really focusing on.
Bijan Thomas, Patrick, who's had several coaching stints in the Premier League, says his team is determined to not be a one-season wonder.
Our main objective is to try and do what we have to do to stay in the Premier League, not a one-off show, that we can be there. 2024-25, now 2025-26 season. That is the motive with important goal at the
Anthony Patrick. Manager of the Under-21 Sunshine Girls, Suzette Townsend, says competing in the Red Stripe Flavors Netball Jamaica Elite League is good preparation as they get ready to take on the Best in the Americas Youth World Cup qualifiers in Guadeloupe next month. The young Sunshine Girls are campaigning as the St. Andrew Shiners in the local Elite League.
They're young and effervescent and ready to take on the world. We see it as maybe they looking at an Australia or a New Zealand or whomever, because eventually we'll get to play them after we qualify.
Suzette Townsend. And it's now time for the Nationwide Olympic Fact, sponsored by the Real Estate Board and Commission of Strata Corporations.
This is Nationwide's Olympic Facts, brought to you by the Real Estate Board and the Commission of Strata Corporations.
Did you know that in 393 AD, the Olympic Games were cancelled and didn't resume until more than 1,500 years later? Yes, that's a fact. Emperor Theodosius I, a Roman ruler, banned the Greek Olympics due to the religious element of the celebration. He considered the Olympics to be a pagan festival which had no place in his Christian country. So that was the end of the Olympics until 1896, when a man named Baron Pierre de Coubertin started a revival of the Games. He called this new event the Modern Olympics, and it's still going today.
That was Nationwide's Olympic Facts, brought to you by Rainforest Caribbean. Make delicious moments.
And that's it for your morning sports.
After months of preparation, Jamaican athletes will clash at the J3A Puma National Senior and Junior Championships at the National Stadium, June 27 to 30. For tickets to the Summer Olympics in Paris, Olympic champion Hansel Parchment, plus Oblique Seville headline the men's division, which also includes Rashid Broadbell, Rashawn Clark, Jaden Hibbert, Akeem Blake, Johan Blake, and Julian Fort. Olympic and world champions Sharika Jackson, Elaine Thompson-Hara, and Shelly Ann Fraser-Price, along with Rochelle Clayton, Shanika Ricketts, and Danielle Williams, will make the action pulsating on the women's side. That's the J3A Puma National Senior and Junior Championships, June 27 to 30 at the National Stadium. It will be sensational.
In business this morning, the Jamaica Stock Exchange, JSE, is warning listed companies that are tardy with their filing of their financial reports that their shares will be suspended following the rare action it took against two late filers in early June. The two companies have since produced their year-end reports, and they, along with a third company, which was cited for rule breaches, had their suspensions lifted last Friday. Managing Director of the JSE, Marlene Street Forest, says the late filing of audited financial statements continues to be a significant issue for the exchange. Gas prices are going up this morning. Motorists will pay $2.66 more for a litre of 87-octane gasoline. 90-octane will also be sold for $2.66 more. The price of automotive diesel oil will go up by $1.65. Ultra-low sulfur diesel will also go up by $1.68. Meanwhile, kerosene goes up by 99 cents. Propane cooking gas will go up by $1, and butane will be sold for $1.24 more. Marketing companies and retailers will add their markups to these prices. Finally now, in foreign exchange trading this morning, the Jamaican dollar has gained 4 cents and will open trading today, selling for an average $156.83 against the benchmark U.S. dollar. The Jamaican dollar has lost 93 cents and will open trading today, selling for an average $115.84 against the Canadian. And finally, the Jamaican has also lost $1.71 and will open trading today, selling for an average $200.44 against the British pound. That's it for business this morning.
For all your musical needs, visit the Music Mart, the most complete music store in Jamaica. Telephone 876-960-7712. The time brought to you by the Music Mart is
6:33.
This outstanding 6'4" athlete credits Jamaica with her first Olympic victory ever.
Jamaica is filled with Olympians.
World record holder McKinley dashes into the lead.
We must never forget the forerunners of Jamaican Olympic greatness.
Coming into the home stretch, it's Wint who challenges the leader.
Win or lose, athletes never forget their Olympic experience.
Fairly Naughty has devastated another world-class field. And Hemmings is going to do it. Hemmings wins it. She's the champion.
Win or lose, Jamaicans will cheer the loudest at the Olympics so that the world will never forget who we are.
And Usain Bolt is moving away. And Jamaica retain their title. And the world record has been taken apart. Oh, I say.
From July 26 to August 11, tune in only to Nationwide 90 FM for the coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympic Games, because we're here to ensure that you never forget. Nationwide's coverage is powered by our bronze sponsors: National Road Operating and Constructing Company Limited, Grace Foods, Spirits Expression Sports Lounge, Imperial Optical Jamaica, Rainforest Caribbean, and Sunshine Snacks.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Get ready for graduation with Sammy's Shoes. Expect stylish yet conservative outfits for young men and women. Now available at unbeatable prices. Sammy's has 5 locations across Kingston and St. Catherine. Shop 8, Premier Plaza, Halfway Tree. Shop 66, King Street, Kingston. Shop 23, Boulevard Supercenter, 10 Cumberland Road, Spanish Town. And Shop 5A, Sovereign Mall, Portmore. Looking smart shouldn't make you broke. Call Sammy's at 876-433-1519 for more details.
This morning I woke up and I looked in the mirror and every part of my body was in place. Many people died and never saw this day. So another day I live, I appreciate. Don't ever wanna act too high and mighty, cause tomorrow I can fall down on my face. So in everything, Lord, I give you praise, and that puts a smile on my face. Lord, I thank you for sunshine, thank you for rain, thank you for joy, thank you for pain. It's a beautiful day, beautiful day, beautiful day. Don't fuss and fight, let us unite. We got one life, so let's make it right. It's a beautiful day, yeah. It's a beautiful day. Valleys of the shadows of death, I will fear no evil, won't be dismayed when I see the clock ticking away and things are not in place. Everything in life happens for a reason. Disappointment comes with a lesson. It's for me to get wiser, got to work harder. In the end, it will get better. Lord, I thank you for sunshine. Thank you for rain. Thank you for joy. Thank you for pain. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Please don't fuss and fight. Let us unite. We got the night, so let's make it right. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. If you got life, then give God praise. You may not have much, but you're living day by day. You can have faith and don't want to work. Get up off that seat and put that brain to work. Hey, hey, it's a beautiful day. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. Hey, it's a beautiful day. It may not be the way I want it to be, but I thank you for every situation that made me good and bad friends that came into my life, and those who are still here today. Lord, I thank you. Yeah. 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 Lord, I thank you for sunshine. Thank you for rain. Thank you for joy. Thank you for pain. It's a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful morning indeed in Kingston City. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. You're tuned in to Nationwide This Morning, NTM, The Big Show. Thank you so much for coming on over and joining us in the space. Happy Thursday to you, or as Saeed would say, happy Friday Eve. Hope you're having a really cool morning and you had a chill night. You got good rest. There was rain wherever you were and you were able to sleep peacefully. There were no humid conditions. It was cool for you. Yeah, and hope you're having a good morning as well. Hello to you. I'm Tana Thomas.
And I'm Saeed Bernard. Top of the morning to your listeners, viewers, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Yeah. Boiling the tea, brewing the coffee, school I keep. Keep on after asking, coming on, say we're close to the summertime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for those of you who are bringing the kids to school or you're, getting them ready, top of the morning to you as well. Turn on the breeze, nice.
It nice.
Yeah, man. Place overcast and thing, and rainfall on and off yesterday, but place cool.
Mm-hmm.
We hope this, continue for the rest of the week.
Yeah, definitely in the city. It seemed it rained until in the wee hours of this morning, because coming out on several of the streets in the corporate area, you can see the evidence of it. Lots of puddles everywhere heading into work this morning. So. Yeah. And Robert McKenzie. Hey to you, Robert McKenzie. Haven't seen you in a while in the YouTube chat, saying it rained in Ocho Rios as well. And Pamela Lodge says it's raining in Santa Cruz in St. Elizabeth. Yeah.
Yeah, man. We're in a fall.
So enjoy the showers. The Met Office in their 5 a.m. forecast today said a tropical wave was just west of Jamaica, and a low-level jet stream was across Jamaica. And in the comment section of the Met Service, it said the tropical wave is expected to move farther away from the island throughout the day, but it's saying expect continued cloudy conditions with periods of showers and thunderstorms throughout this morning, with gradual improvement in weather conditions thereafter. Additionally, windy conditions are expected to persist through to Friday due to the presence of that low-level jet stream. So, may want to walk with your umbrella, give you the kiddies, their raincoats and all of that this morning.
Yeah, well, what's on my mind this morning, Tana, is a matter which I wish to address of significant concern that has been highlighted by our Prime Minister in a recent discourse in St. Anne. He broached the subject of fake news and its pernicious effects on society, an issue that has garnered extensive attention, I think, and raised great alarm. This matter transcends national boundaries, resonating globally and impacting democracies and societies worldwide. The Prime Minister disclosed in that conversation that the government has been tracking several instances of comments that border on defamation or libel. He said, when you dig behind, which we have the capabilities to do, so it tells you that there is some digging, there is some tracking. And while he refrained from elaborating on the specifics, it is imperative to scrutinize the implications of such surveillance. The aspiration is that these measures are not being executed by government apparatuses, as their deployment should be strictly, I think, confined to criminal matters involving law enforcement authorities. And to do so using government apparatus would be a misappropriation of such power and would constitute an abuse that warrants rigorous examination. I must be fair, however, that in as much as the de facto information minister has said that there is no tracking of such, which is a complete reversal of what the Prime Minister has said, certainly it leaves for want in Jamaicans' minds as to what actually entails from a government point of view. I must, however, concur with the Prime Minister in recognizing the gravity of some of these remarks. Now, these remarks are not remarks that dissent in opinion against government or opposition, but these remarks, which can indeed be insidious and intentionally harmful, shows a reprehensible behavior, and it demands condemnation from all walks of society. However, the jurisdiction for addressing these issues unequivocally lies within civil legislation. You see, friends, our legal system is quite equipped with robust laws, including the Defamation Act, the Offences Against the Persons Act, and the Data Protection Act, just to name a few. And these statutes provide a comprehensive framework to address such transgressions appropriately, I think. Any proposed reforms should actually aim to enhance these existing legislations, ensuring they are fortified to meet the contemporary challenges that we face in acting on the legislation for our collective and individual protection. But it is crucial to underscore the perils associated with a government seeking to clamp down on what it arbitrarily deems as fake news. And history offers us numerous cautionary tales. For instance, in Russia, the government has weaponized fake news laws to quash dissent. Journalists and opposition figures have been ensnared under these laws, leading to a stifling of free speech and a chilling effect on an independent media. And this, my friends, has cultivated an environment where only state-sanctioned narratives prevail, silencing critical voices and undermining democratic discourse. In Turkey, for example, the government's crackdown on media outlets and journalists under the pretext of combating fake news has similarly eroded press freedom. The imprisonment of journalists and the closure of independent media organizations have debilitated the public's access to unbiased information, thereby compromising the integrity of the nation's democratic processes. And of course, China, an even more draconian example, where the government employs a stringent censorship and surveillance mechanisms to control information dissemination. And content deemed as fake news or detrimental to the state is expunged with ruthless efficiency, and those responsible face severe repercussions. This has engendered, I fear, an environment where the populace is inundated with propaganda, obscuring the truth and stifling dissent. These global examples illuminate the dangers of governmental overreach in the realm of information regulation. And Jamaica may not be there today. In fact, listening to the information minister, she says that Jamaica should stand on truth. And I dare say this morning that if we stand on truth, then this type of information regulation certainly is not the way to go. And so we may not be there today, but as we often say, as you slip, you slide. So while it is imperative to address the menace of misinformation, I was recently a victim of it, and disinformation, it is equally crucial to safeguard the fundamental freedoms of speech, the press, and access to information. And efforts to combat what one deems as a fake news must not transgress these essential rights. Instead, they should focus on fostering transparency, accountability, and the dissemination of accurate information. That's what's on my mind.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
12 minutes to 7 o'clock.
Attention engine enthusiasts in Jamaica. Did you know that Lucalza Caribbean is the only authorized distributor of Chevron lubricants? Lucalza has been the trusted partner for Chevron lubricants in Jamaica for over 13 years, offering the full range of Chevron and Texaco products including Ursa, Haviland, Supreme, Delo and more. For peace of mind and superior engine care, trust the Chevron lubricants portfolio, distributed by Lucalza Caribbean and their network of reliable resellers. Don't compromise your engine performance. Drive with Chevron. Drive with confidence.
With so much to do in one location, make Megamart your one-stop shop. Pick up your groceries and houseware needs, grab a bite and pay some bills, fill your prescriptions and see the beauty products in our pharmacy. All in one amazing location. My Megamart, the best value by far.
When last you get good bun, you don't know good bun until you have a mother's bakery bun. From you pull open the wrapper and it's soft so till. A sub bun for nice. And from when you take the first bite, love it so till. A sub bun for nice. Beg your piece.
Get your own mother's bakery bun.
I will buy one off you.
Yes, but I will charge a convenience fee.
I will take one. Me too.
Mother's bakery buns. A sub bun for nice. Try them today.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute is brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
It's 10 minutes going up to 7 o'clock, and it's time for Street Smart with Ludlow McLean. Good morning, Ludlow.
Morning, style. How are you doing, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Anna?
Hey to you, Ludlow.
Morning time.
Morning to you.
A quick shout out to the listeners and the motor and all transport operators, stakeholders, investors. Just a quick update. Work was done on the Washington Boulevard, the westbound leg, and it's much better, a much better service to drive on. So it's smooth sailing all the way to 6 miles, coming from the Mullines Boulevard and Pembroke Hall, Kenny Drive intersection there, and going on the eastbound side. That's where you're going to have the traffic. It's building all the time, and no doubt, by the time we complete, get to our second report, there will be much more traffic in other areas. Overcast conditions, I may tell. We had rain overnight, pools of water on our road. So it's a first report of the 718. The back to you, side.
Thank you so much, Ludlow. That's Street Smart. And by the way, before we go to the word of the day, I did not say to my what's on my mind. But I think it's high time to have a conversation as it relates to having to verify your information to have social media accounts. Because of a part of free speech is responsibility. You should own up to what you say. Anyways, up next, the word of the day.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute was brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Your word of the day, spelled Foudroyant, spelled Foudroyant.
Foudroyant. Foudroyant. Foudroyant.
Foudroyant is your word of the day. It's an adjective, so it's a descriptive word. Foudroyant, meaning sudden and overwhelming in effect. Other synonyms are stunning or dazzling. Foudroyant is your word of the day. Dictionary.com telling us that foudroyant was first recorded between 1830 and 1840. 1830 and 1840. Sentence for you this morning using the word foudroyant. The foudroyant storm lit up the whole sky. Another for you, the opera began with a foudroyant, a dazzling, a stunning overture, setting the stage for this emotional and powerful performance that followed. Foudroyant, the definition again, sudden and overwhelming in effect. Synonyms, stunning, dazzling. Foudroyant. Up next, your features at the top of the hour of the news.
If you have diabetes, exercise offers surprising benefits. Not only does it lower your stress levels, it may also lower your blood sugar level and may even reduce your insulin requirements. Today in Coming of Age, 5 best exercises for people with diabetes. Exercise is so important for people with diabetes, especially the elderly. The National Institute of Health recommends 150 minutes of aerobic exercise each week, while the American Diabetes Association, ADA, recommends that you miss no more than 2 days of aerobic exercise in a row. Try to make a habit of doing the following exercises on a regular basis. They'll give you the maximum benefits to help you manage your diabetes and are relatively easy to fit in each day. Because anyone can do it almost anywhere, walking is the most popular exercise and highly recommended for people with diabetes. Spending 30 minutes of brisk walking 5 times each week is a great way to increase your physical ability. You can even break this 30 minutes down into 10-minute sessions 3 times a day. Tai Chi. This Chinese form of exercise uses slow, smooth body movements to relax the mind and body. Studies have shown those who complete Tai Chi sessions show significant improvement in blood sugar control. They also report increased vitality, energy, and mental health. Yoga. A traditional form of exercise, yoga incorporates fluid movements that build flexibility, strength, and balance. It's helpful for people with a variety of chronic conditions, including diabetes. It lowers stress and improves nerve function, which leads to an increased state of mental health and wellness. According to the ADA, yoga may improve blood glucose levels due to improved muscle mass. Dancing. Dancing is not only great for your body, but the mental work to remember dance steps and sequences actually boosts brain power and improves memory. For those with diabetes, it is a fun and exciting way to increase physical activity, promote weight loss, improve flexibility, lower blood sugar, and reduce stress. Chair dancing, which incorporates the use of a chair to support people with limited physical abilities, makes dancing an option for many people. In just 30 minutes, a 150-pound adult can burn up to 150 calories. Swimming. Swimming stretches and relaxes your muscles and doesn't put pressure on your joints, which is great for people with diabetes. For those with diabetes or at risk for developing diabetes, studies show it improves cholesterol levels, burns calories, and lowers stress levels. To get the most benefit from swimming, we recommend that you swim at least 3 times a week for at least 10 minutes and gradually increase the length of the workout. Lastly, let the lifeguard know that you have diabetes before you get in the pool. Before starting an exercise program, talk to your doctor to be sure the exercise you choose is safe and appropriate for your type of diabetes. Remember to start slowly, especially if you have not been physically active for a while. Until next time, that's Coming of Age today.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
On a limited budget but need to maintain a professional look at work?
I've got tips for you ladies. How to build a professional wardrobe on a budget. Hi, I'm Tana, and these are your lifestyle pages. Select tailored clothing. It is better to invest in a few high-quality outfits that can be interchanged than numerous extravagant or poor-quality pieces. Include in your selection at least 3 dark-colored suits. Also buy simple, well-made shirts or blouses, skirts or pants. Invest in a few jackets and blazers that you can mix and match with your outfits. Stick to conservative colors for suits such as navy blue, gray and black, brown and army green. Ensure proper fit. Your clothing should not be too loose or too tight. Your blouses should not show so much cleavage. The sleeves should also be at your wrist. Ensure that your clothing is always properly pressed. Simple conservative hairstyles is also recommended. Your hair should always be well groomed. Finally, wear appropriate shoes. I'm Tana, and those are your lifestyle pages.
News on the go. The latest stories from Jamaica and around the world are literally a finger tap away. Keep up to date with Team Revolution 24 hours a day online via nationwideradiojm.com. Listen live, read the latest stories, hear every soundbite. Be a part of the vibrant online debate via Facebook and Twitter. Now you can get all your favorite premium nationwide content at your convenience. Visit the Android Play Store and download it for free today. NationwideRadioJM.com. All day, every day. Team Revolution.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
From Negril Point to Morant Bay, a little kindness can go a far way. The time by the Jamaica Information Service is...
News time, 7 o'clock.
If you need to build it, plumb it, weld it, pave it, or power it, National Supply has it. Get the best brands for the job at Jamaica's Industrial Hardware Superstore, Kingston Normal Bay. The temperature by National Supply is...
27 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay.
The most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Coming up in the news at 7 this morning, Thursday, June 27, 2024, trade union bosses chide the PNP for its attack on 2 senior civil servants in the health sector. But PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell says the party has a right to demand accountability from those presiding over public resources. EPOC boss Keith Duncan says the central bank appears poised to reduce interest rates. And in international news, protesters returned to the streets of the Kenyan capital Nairobi despite tax climb down from President William Ruto.
News at 7 is brought to you by Hyundai. Modern, premium, affordable vehicles.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. The People's National Party and its professional affiliate, the Patriots, are facing fresh criticism over their call for the resignation of senior civil servants in the health ministry. The latest criticism comes from 3 trade union leaders. President of the Jamaica Civil Service Association, Tisha Clark Griffiths, has been joined by former head of the Confederation of Trade Unions, Helene Davis White, and President of UK's, Vincent Morrison, in objecting to the opposition's posture regarding these senior health officials. We have more in this report from Mahira Stewart.
Tisha Clark Griffiths had come to the defense of Permanent Secretary in the Health Ministry, Dunstan Bryan, after he faced mounting backlash online and a call for his resignation from the PNP Patriots. On Wednesday, she was joined by Helene Davis White and Vincent Morrison. Mrs. Davis White says the senior members of the PNP need to rein in the Patriots.
I think they need to set a stage
as the senior politicians, because the patriots are the younger ones, as the senior politicians, to be able to say to their young colleagues that attacks on public servants should not be encouraged. And it is taken to be an attack when you call for their resignation based on information that is not whole and you don't have all the facts.
For his part, Mr. Morrison hailed the work of Permanent Secretary Bryan and CMO Dr. Jacqueline Bisseser Mackenzie. He says civil servants are protected under existing labor laws.
I want to say that I've dealt with both persons in your preamble, and I've found both persons to be what I would want to describe as outstanding public servants. I also want to make it clear that in the 70s, certain pieces of legislation were introduced. The LRID, its attendance, the labor code, and the termination of employment of the Redundancy Payment Act. You cannot, in what I call an en blanche approach, call for the dismissal of workers. And it doesn't matter whether they're permanent secretary or the janitor or whoever. The law is the law.
While all three union leaders agree that civil servants are not above criticism and reproach, Mrs. Clark Griffiths says the PNP is wrong to double down on the resignation calls.
Remember, public servants, regardless of who forms a political party, remains there. That's why they're permanent secretaries. And so whichever party forms the government work with public servants. And so it's important for us to draw a particular line. And when I was going to university, I learned the term dichotomy, which is a separation between politics and administration. And for too long, we have seen the lines cross. And what we're saying is that there are processes, understand what those processes is, and make sure that we don't interfere and to damage the character of public servants, the very public servants that you may very well be working with if the party changes.
All three union leaders stressed the need for natural justice when calling for public officials to face sanctions for perceived poor performance. Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell is doubling down on his criticism of the performance of Permanent Secretary in the Health and Wellness Ministry, Dunstan Bryan. In a statement on Wednesday, Dr. Campbell says the party's comments about Mr. Bryan are not to be interpreted as an attack on the civil service. Shalois Michael has that story.
As the war of words between the two political parties continues over the state of the public health system, several senior civil servants have been dragged into the controversy. The PNP's professional affiliate organization, the Patriots, has called for the resignation of both Mr. Bryan and the Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jacqueline Bisseser Mackenzie. It's a move roundly chastised by the Jamaica Civil Service Association, JCSA, which has cautioned against placing undue partisan pressure on civil servants. In a response on Wednesday, PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell says the party stands firmly with the civil servants and healthcare workers who are increasingly burdened by the under-resourced and understaffed public health sector.
The People's National Party stands resolutely with our civil servants and the healthcare workers who are increasingly burdened by the under-resourced and understaffed public healthcare sector. Our concern is not directed at the dedicated civil servants who are often overworked and underpaid, leaving very little room for motivation. Instead, we call upon the government, the minister, and the specific accounting officers in the Ministry of Health and Wellness to address the issue of deep-seated unaccountability and the poor stewardship of the portfolio, which continue to cost Jamaican lives.
The PNP says it is instead calling upon the government, the minister, and the specific accounting officers in the ministry to address the issues of deep-seated impunity and the poor stewardship of the portfolio. Dr. Campbell points to the failure of the ministry to account for $700 billion in appropriations over the last decade as an area of serious concern.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness has failed to account for Jamaican $700 billion. This includes over $7 million worth of computer equipment that has gone missing, nearly $18 million spent without proper procurement documentation, and the absence of the Permanent Secretary's approval for relevant contracts. Additionally, more than Jamaican $35 million was spent on consulting services over 9 months without a competitive process or advertisement. mismanagement. The Auditor General identified numerous irregularities in the ministry's expenditure of funds allocated for the COVID-19 pandemic and noted violations of the Financial Administration and Audit Act. Does this situation not demand accountability from the top echelons of the ministry?
He called out Permanent Secretary Bryan specifically.
We are not criticizing civil servants broadly. Our concern is with the minister and a particular civil servant who has overseen this significant mismanagement. Accountability is non-negotiable, and someone must be held responsible. If not the permanent secretary and the minister, who then should the Jamaicans hold to account for this gross negligence? Those responsible for the poor stewardship of the health sector must resign.
Shaloy Smichael for Nationwide News.
Health Minister Dr. Chris Tufton says those persons working in the health sector have a responsibility to offer the best customer service to patients. Speaking at Wednesday's post-cabinet media briefing, Minister Tufton says service providers can be more gentle in their interaction with users of healthcare services.
And I do believe that there is a systemic issue within government where sometimes we take our customers, our clients, for granted. And in public health, despite the best efforts of the overwhelming majority of our public health servants, doctors, nurses, and others, we still have to work on showing greater levels of empathy, greater responsiveness and sensitivities to people's concerns, because more often than not, the irritation that is accompanied by the vocal expressions of disappointment are caused and triggered by very simple issues that could have been overcome by just a listening ear and a gentle response.
Minister Tufton says improved customer service in hospitals and health facilities across the island is a priority for his ministry.
That's the next phase we're in. That's why we have a compassionate care program. That's why we're reviewing the internal mechanisms for complaints. And that's why I have consistently said that the next big challenge of public health is to enhance the change management so that we use the tools that have been empowered to us through the expenditures of the government to be more efficient and to demonstrate greater levels of empathy to the populace. So yes, it's a work in progress and we have to do better. Thank you.
Dr. Chris Tufton, Health and Wellness Minister. The Integrity Commission has submitted its annual report for the 2023-24 financial year to the Houses of Parliament. That's according to a statement from the Commission on Wednesday. It's unclear when the report, the 6th annual report of the Commission, will be tabled. Section 36 of the Integrity Commission Act requires the Commission to submit its annual reports to Parliament not later than 3 months after the end of each fiscal year. This means the Commission's annual reports must be submitted by the end of June each year. Hard copies of the report were submitted to the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Juliet Holness, Senate President Tom Tavares Finson, and the Clerk to the Houses of Parliament, Colleen Lowe. The last annual report from the Integrity Commission triggered a firestorm. It noted that 6 parliamentarians and 28 public officials were under investigation for illicit enrichment. The chairman of the Economic Program Oversight Committee, EPOC, Keith Duncan, says conditions are growing increasingly favorable for the Bank of Jamaica to reduce interest rates. Mr. Duncan is reacting to news that the country has managed to successfully maintain inflation within the target band of 4 to 6% for 3 successive months.
Inflation has been trending down. Inflation has been within the range of the Bank of Jamaica within the 4 to 6% range over the past 3 readings, the lowest being at 5.2% most recently. The Bank of Jamaica would be has signaled that they could reduce rates. I believe a determining factor and a critical input to the Bank of Jamaica reducing rates would be the signals received from the U.S. Federal Reserve.
The BOJ currently maintains an interest rate of 7%. It's believed by many in the private sector that this rate is hurting the country's growth. Mr. Duncan believes data from the U.S. Federal Reserve should further encourage a downward move in interest rates.
The U.S. Federal Reserve has interest rates in the 5.25 to 5.5% range, and from the market consensus, it appears that the U.S. Federal Reserve could move and to reduce rates anywhere between September and December. If that was so, then the Bank of Jamaica would be in a better position to reduce interest rates below the 7% policy signal.
Keith Duncan, Epoch's chairman, speaking with Nationwide News on Wednesday. The Minister with responsibility for water, Senator Matthew Samuda, says the opposition PNP has no moral authority to criticize the Holness administration about the absence of piped water in several communities across the island. Senator Samuda says the PNP is the only government in the country's history under whose watch water pipes were laid but never connected.
The policy of the PNP was disaster where water is concerned. It's the only political party on planet Earth run pipes and don't connect them. So when them did widen Washington Boulevard, them run pipe and don't connect the pipe. And then have the nerve today to make noise about water. If you go through several Operation Pride housing schemes now, from Harborview to Duane Park, them run pipe and don't connect the pipe. If you go through the length and breadth of this country, you look at some of the highways they built, it gets worse. Imagine building a new road and don't run no pipe. So either them don't connect the pipe or them don't run no pipe, and then them have the nerve to ask where is the water. Now Labour rights are West Kingston. Tell me if I'm not general them.
Senator Samudas was speaking to JLP supporters at the Area Council 1 meeting at the Fletcher's Landing Community Centre in West Kingston on Tuesday night. He says it's the JLP administration that has done the work to connect those pipes and bring the precious commodity into people's homes across the corporate area.
In 2015, no construction now go on, Minister Mackenzie, because you were shadowing local government them time there. No construction permit now give, because nobody no want to build nothing in Jamaica, because them did workless. Look at how much big building built in a Kingston and St. Andrew, Area Council 1 since 2015. Look how the country I live up. And the country I live up started in Kingston and St. Andrew. In 2015, without no water lock off in rainy season, you need 55 million gallons a day of water in a Kingston and St. Andrew. In 2024, in rainy season, you only need 38 million gallons of water because them that did pump the water straight into the ground through the leaking pipes. Is this government fixing the pipes of Kingston and St. Andrew? Then workless and then lie.
Senator Matthew Samuda. Government Senator Abka Fitzhenley says Damian Crawford's suggestion that the government increase GCT and use the proceeds to provide additional funds to the education sector is a non-starter. According to Fitzhenley, the Holness administration already has in place an arrangement that's channeling unprecedented levels of funding into education.
I hear a man in the party that is led by the British man talking about they want to increase GCT by 1%. And he says he wants to do that to fund education. The Jamaica Labour Party administration is on record as allocating the highest number of resources to education in Jamaica, 20% of the national budget and 5% of GDP. And we are proud of this administration for the investment in education in Jamaica.
Speaking at the JLP's Area Council 1 meeting in Fletcher's Land, West Kingston on Tuesday, Senator Fitzhenley says the PNP has proven that only through borrowing and the imposition of new taxes can it provide the resources needed to fund critical sectors in the country. He says the PNP imposed $60 billion in new taxes on Jamaicans during its last term in office.
And we hear a senior man in the PNP talking about he wants to increase GCT and heap another $25 billion in taxes on the backs of the Jamaican people. The government of the Jamaica Labour Party will not countenance such wickedness being imposed on the people of Jamaica. We are not a government of taxation. We are a government that put in place policies that empower people to take care of themselves and their families. We won't go back to the days of the PNP where every budget is taxes, taxes, taxes. Gone are those days. And we are proud to be the government that has gone 8 consecutive years of no new taxes.
Government Senator Abka Fitzhenley. International news now. Kenyan police have fired tear gas to disperse groups of protesters who have started gathering again in the capital, Nairobi. There has been a heavy deployment of security forces, including the military, and roads are blocked around key buildings in the capital ahead of the protests. This comes 2 days after 22 people reportedly lost their lives in protests against tax hikes, which saw part of the parliament building set alight. The next day, President William Ruto bowed to pressure and said he would withdraw the finance bill containing the unpopular tax proposals. The demonstrators vowed to gather again in the city center to mourn those killed. Some also vowed to march to the president's official residence at State House. That's the news.
News at 7 was brought to you by Hyundai. Modern, premium, affordable vehicles.
Sign up for the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. The time by JN Money is
18 minutes past 7.
Employers, mark your calendars. The annual Employers Return, SO2, originally due March 31, 2024, is now due on April 2, 2024. File online at jamaicatax.gov.jm. Contact 888-TAX-HELP for more assistance. The temperature by Tax Administration Jamaica, working together to serve you even better, is
29 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay.
Did you know that many of my schoolmates have an unhealthy diet, especially at school? And now 23% of them are overweight and or obese? And so one less sugary drink at my school may mean one friend less,
or 2 or 3,
at risk of cavities or diabetes. And if we're served less foods high in saturated fats, sugar and sodium, it may reduce our risk from obesity, heart disease and high blood pressure. The solution is simple, right? Act now. Let's get unhealthy foods and beverages out of our schools.
A message from the Heart Foundation of Jamaica and partners.
At Design Privacy, we value relationships. Join our exclusive open DPO community and interact with privacy professionals. Share ideas, insightful challenges, and build career-boosting connections with expert advice at your fingertips. Get access to specialized tools, exclusive workshops, and case studies. Enjoy unparalleled networking. Join Design Privacy's open DPO community to expand your expertise and excel in your career. Visit opendpocommunity.com today and take your data privacy skills to the next level.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute is brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Time now for Street Smarts 2 with Ludlow McLean. Ludlow, it's 7:20. Gotta make it quick, my friend.
Yes, and you're very low. Anyway, the motoring public, good morning to you all, our transport operators. Cloudy conditions, busy roads. I just tell you, half a tree, plenty of traffic. Hope Road, Hagley Park Road, all these areas. East Kings House, going onto Lady Musgrave. It's not too bad. Lady Musgrave, smooth sailing. Most of the traffic is really at the intersection. Hope, Trafalgar, Hope Road, and all these intersections. So these are the busiest areas. On the eastern side, you don't have much problem. Mountain View, all these areas. So it's not too bad in some areas. So it's the second report until tomorrow morning, 6:45. It's back to you, George.
Thank you, Ludlow McLean there with Street Smarts doing just a program, just an advisory. We understood that we were off earlier in parts of Manchester and the St. Elizabeth. The report from our technical broadcast manager is that we're back up.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute was brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Front Page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. APC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
(7:22). Thank you so much for staying with us. We turn now to the front page. Two-time Olympic sprint double champion Elaine Thompson-Herah has ruled herself out of the Paris Olympics. Thompson-Herah started the year looking to become the first woman and only the second athlete after Usain Bolt to win the 100-200 double at 3 straight Olympic Games. That attempt went through the window 2 weeks ago when it was announced she would not be contesting the 200 meters at the national championship.
In a post on her Instagram page, Thompson-Herah explains that at the New York Grand Prix, she felt something in the race and still insisted on pushing. A couple of steps to the line, she realized that something was wrong. She said she sat off the track because she couldn't put pressure on the leg and had to be carried off the track. The two-time Olympic sprint double champion says she later found out that she sustained a small tear on her Achilles tendon. It was reported that she visited a renowned surgeon in Germany in a last attempt to save her Olympic dream. For discussion on our athletes going into the national trials, we'll be joined by Nationwide's sports editor Wayne Walker and sports analyst, no stranger to Nationwide 90 FM, Leighton Levy. Good morning to you.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Paula. Good morning, Saeed. Hey, Leighton.
Well, let me start with you. Let me start with you, Wayne Walker. Your reaction to this news?
When you say my reaction, if I'm surprised at the announcement yesterday.
Well, if you're surprised, one, and two, what does this mean for Jamaica track and field going to the Paris Olympics?
Yeah. One of the first things people are asking following that announcement yesterday is it the end of a era? But I doubt that she responded a little later to say, no, she'll be back. But no, I wasn't surprised. In fact, I was surprised when I heard that she had entered for the 100 meters, but not the 200 meters. Given what we saw at the end of that race in New York, many people immediately came to the conclusion that this was it for the season because she really didn't look good physically, and then the performance on track.
Wayne? Have we lost Wayne? All right, let's try to get back our sports editor on the line, Wayne Walker. Going to go over to you, Leighton Levy, for the similar question, your reaction to the news last evening that Elaine Thompson-Herah pulling out of the national trials and essentially the Olympics as well.
Like Wayne said, it wasn't a surprise. When you see an athlete 2.5 weeks out from a national championships being carried off the track because they're on the stand, you kind of come to the realization that participation was going to be a significant challenge. Because if it was a muscular injury, you're looking at a minimum of 10 days to recover before treatment begins. Mm-hmm. And if it's a tendon injury, then it takes even longer. So it was hardly likely that she was going to be available to compete at the national championships at any level at all. But when she announced, when it was and look at the registration, she had registered for the 100 alone. You said, okay, let's see what she can do. Because one of the key things that when you have that kind of injury, as she alluded to in her post on Instagram, you really can't put any pressure on the leg. Mm-hmm. You can't put any pressure in terms of your contact on the ground. So for her to be able to sprint effectively in a year when it is believed that a number of youngsters have made a step forward, it was always going to be challenging. Even if she did compete, it was unlikely that she was going to be able to break through what seems to be now a growing cadre of young sprinters who are emerging from their transition from the junior years to the senior years. So it wasn't really a surprise at all. It's disappointing because, she had already made history and was in with a shot to emulate Usain Bolt as the first woman athlete to win 3 back-to-back sprint doubles at the Olympic Games. But, injuries are part of the sport, especially track and field, where you push your body to your limits every day in training. So these things will happen, and as you age, it turns 32 tomorrow, June 28th. So the reality is that as you age, and the tread start to come off of the tire a little bit, these things will happen. And I think she has been having injury issues now for a number of years. And they've, once again, helped to derail her progress as one of the greatest sprinters of all time. So it is disappointing because you would have loved, even if she wasn't 100%, you would have loved to have seen her in Paris attempting to defend her title. Yeah. And that's all you would have asked for, but now she's not able to do that.
Yeah. Is Wayne back with us? Wayne,
yes, I'm back with you. I was hearing him much better.
Yeah, man. You didn't get to finish your point.
Right. So I was saying, just like Leighton, we were not surprised. A bit disappointed, yes, but not surprised. In fact, it's almost like you could see it coming. When she left the track in New York after the New York Grand Prix, she didn't look good. She had to be taken off. And so close to the national championship with that sort of injury, it was always touch and go. In fact, when she registered for the 100 meters at the national championship and didn't go for the 200 meters, it set the alarm bells ringing. And many people didn't expect her to get to the national championship. For them, it was more hope than anything else. And when it emerged this week, that she had gone to Germany to have a chat with Dr. Müller-Wohlfahrt, people were saying, well, whatever he says, it's got to be final because he is the absolute at this thing. So it wasn't surprising last night when her sports management team announced that she's withdrawn from the 100, which effectively ruled her out of the Olympic Games. I'm sure the Olympic Games organizers would have been very, very disappointed as well because look at the storyline.
Right.
She was attempting to become the second person in history behind Usain Bolt and the first female to win the 1-2 double at 3 straight Olympic Games. That would have been something. I mean, it would have been so difficult to surpass. Records are made to be broken, but what Usain did and what Elaine was attempting to do would have been records that would take lifetimes to be broken. But so it's a massive disappointment, but it is not something that surprises us. In fact, many people were expecting it.
You said that you used the term before, Wayne, and I've been hearing it, touch and go. What does that mean?
Touch and go meaning, and it's a good question, because when she entered for the 100 meters, I was thinking, in my opinion, she just entered to make sure that the spot is there because the cutoff for entry was being 17. They want to get your name in and then hope that post that registration things would have gotten better. So it was touch and go for her. It was day by day, game time decision sort of, and she, they kept it right down until the very end, to the very eve of the start of the championship. So given what happened last night, I'm no more convinced than anything else that when she entered for the 100, it was more to give herself time because even she and her management team knew that there was just a finality to this thing. And it just came to a head last night.
Most unfortunate,
Yeah, Leighton, Wayne, hold the line. When we come back from the break, I want to talk about as well if there's any impact at all now to the Jamaican team heading to Paris in relation to Thompson Hera's absence, as well as to look for what to expect at the national trials, which begins today and will end on Sunday.
Give up every illegal gun. Call the police at 119 or Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Ministry of National Security is
7:31.
The best Burger King with the best tasting burger under the sun. You deserve the best. You are number one. Best. Flame grilling, juicy whopper, 'cause you deserve it. Yeah, next level, awesome. That's how we serve it. Mama menu done your way. You got the taste rules every day. Flame grilled goodness, you deserve it. Great taste, well done. More flavor, fresh fun. Burger King, best tasting burger under the sun.
Drive Hyundai vehicles beyond your dreams with an exclusive 5.99% interest rate. Yes, shop Hyundai vehicles and get a super low 5.99% interest rate on your car loan. Plus 2 years free service, 1 year insurance, and 5 years warranty. Offer valid on all 2024 Hyundai vehicles. Drive your Hyundai with the lowest interest, 5.99%. Conditions apply.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. APC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. APC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning, having a conversation about Elaine Thompson-Herah and the Jamaican team that is set to head to the Olympics in Paris this summer. Last night, news broke that two-time Olympic sprint double champion Elaine Thompson-Herah has ruled herself out of the Paris Olympics. Thompson-Herah started the year looking to become the first woman and only the second athlete after Usain Bolt to win the 100-200 double at 3 straight Olympic Games. The attempt went through the window 2 weeks ago when it was announced she would not be contesting the 200 meters at the national championships. She had kept her options open in the 100 meters, but last night news broke all over the local news band as well as international news as well. Several news agencies reporting it that she has announced that she will not be in the national trials, essentially to not going to the Olympic Games. On the line, Nationwide's sports editor Wayne Walker and sports analyst Leighton Levy. So Wayne, now that she is not heading to the national trials and essentially the Olympics as well, will this have any impact, her absence have any impact for the Jamaican team heading to the Olympics?
No, not really. I mean, if it was football, maybe, then she would have been one of our best players, our better players, and their contribution, personal contribution would, renowned to how successful the team is. It's not really. And then,
but some people would ask about what about the relays? Wouldn't she be one of those top picks to do the 4x1?
And she would only be one of the top picks if she's able to do well in the individual sprint. And the fact that she can't do well in the individual sprint, then she would be able to do well in the relays as well. Mm-hmm. Because it's what you do in the sprint that, eventually get. But as I say, it's for me, it's not going to weigh too heavily on the team. It's a largely individual sport. They just go as a group to represent the country, and the medal tally at the end of the day, dictates where Jamaica finish on the standings. So as far as affect the team itself, I don't think so. I mean, yes, you would like to have Elaine around. She's one of our most bankable stars, and I'm sure that IOC would have been disappointed as well, because this particular attempt at, the double in the back-to-back Olympic Games was a massive selling point for them. And the moment she left the track in Tokyo for the last Olympic Games, the buzz was, wow, let's see if she could do it a third time. And that buzz, continues throughout the last 2 or so years. And then now to hear it in the year of the Olympic Games, just literally today's 29 days away from the start of the Olympic Games, to get the news so suddenly would have been disappointing. But I don't think it will affect too much the Jamaica team.
Mm-hmm. Talk to me, Leighton, about Shelley and Mommy Rocket, Fraser Price and Shericka Jackson. How are they looking for the trials and for Olympics?
Well, we really don't know that much. We haven't seen Shelley except for that race a couple of weeks ago. What we did see was an athlete running well within herself. I suspect that she just wanted to test where she was in terms of her preparation for the championships. And that's what I think what we saw. She ran with herself. She won her race. She did enough to get to the line first because of her competitive spirit. But I think her motivation for that race was just to test where she was. As you know, that was her first race of the season. Mm-hmm. When I spoke with her last October actually, and I asked her about race sharpness heading into Budapest for the World Championships. She conceded that she perhaps should have raced a little bit more to be more race ready was her term. And she did say that if she's healthy, then she was planning to race even more this year. the fact that she was able to now open just about a week or so before the national championships would suggest that she's not 100%, but she perhaps expects to be by the time track and field begins at the Olympic Games in August. But track and field begins in August, but the test will be what she does at the national championship starting this weekend. And of course, but based on what we saw, I think she should be fine. And I think the big question is whether or not she'll be at her very best, which is a 10.60 sprinter going into Paris. But I wouldn't worry too much about Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce at this point, because one of the things that I do know about her is that if she wasn't ready, she wouldn't be here. Mm-hmm. And the fact that she is suggests that she will. Shericka Jackson, we spoke with Coach Francis just a couple of weeks ago, and he said that he expects her to be a lot better than the last time we saw her, 22.69 over in Europe. He says he expects her to be about a second faster, which puts her at 21.6 or 21.7, which means that and that you see at 2022 Shericka Jackson at the national championship in terms of the 100. That means that 21.7 athletes for the national championships would put her pretty much on the team ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
So I suspect that what we see from those two remaining big stars of the big three will be enough to get them on the team. And I think one of the things, and just to further Wade's point about Elaine's non-participation, is that I think we're beginning to see the start of a transition from some of the greatest sprinters of all time to the next generation. And I think these national championships will start to manifest in a way to suggest who will be the next ones to step up to fill the breach that the big three will leave behind. Because Shericka Jackson turns 30 next month, Elaine turns 32 tomorrow, and Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce turns 38 in December. They have served Jamaica extremely well. Mm-hmm. And now I think we'll begin to see the next generation of stars begin to emerge. So it's not...
Because isn't this Shelly's last Olympics?
Yep.
It will be her last Olympics.
Her last race on home soil, right?
And perhaps her last races on home soil, certainly. And her last Olympic Games. Whether or not she decides to retire after that is entirely up to her. Because I think a lot of people misinterpreted her statement based on a number of interviews she did earlier this year, where she said that her last Olympics will be 2024. But it did not, because in my conversations with her, she said it would be her last Olympics, but not necessarily the end of her career. So whether or not she goes on to Tokyo in 2025 is a decision that I think she will still have to make. Mm-hmm. But this will definitely be her last Olympic year.
That's it for the ladies. But for the men, Wayne, at the national trials that's set to get underway today, their prospects, who should we be paying attention to?
And you're talking about the 100 in particular, or generally for over the event?
Overall event.
Yeah. Well, clearly the 100 meters is always going to take pride of place, not just at the national championship. It is the blue ribbon event for one reason, you know. Oblique Seville, you know, it's hard to look past him, given what we've seen so far. What we've also seen, not just so far, but what we've seen every year when there's a championship, is that there's a man called Stephen Francis who just happens to prepare somebody who comes to the national championship and will shock everyone. Nobody knows of him, and so on. This year, he has served warning. Kishane Thompson, who came to the national championship last year, a virtual unknown, came out and he ran one race. Didn't come back for the final. Was it the final he didn't come back for, or the semi-final, Leighton? Correct me.
He didn't show for the semi-final. He ran the preliminary run. I ran 91.
Here's a boy nobody ever heard about, possibly except his first appearance, and Stephen. He came out and he ran sub-10 at the National Stadium last year. And people are wondering, who is this guy? Where is he from? Let's go back to see what he's going to do. And he just never came back. Yeah? He ended the season on a high because apparently he had an injury. They went, sorted it out, and he ended the season on a high. And then international people started to talk about him. And so coming into the Olympic year, many people were saying, wow, could we have two Thompsons winning the men's 100 and the women's 100 in Elaine Thompson and Kishane Thompson? And then with the Elaine thing now out the window, Kishane. And just last week, I think it was in an interview with Ricardo Chambers, that Stephen said Kishane is going to come and run special. And when Stephen said that, look out for it. So let's see what Kishane has. has. That aside, though, Oblique and Akeem Blake are the two people that you're going to look forward to. Rohan Watson is the national champion, and you're going to have to also give him some respect. But let's see what he has, because we've not seen enough of him this year to judge where he's at. Yeah? So for now, it's going to be Oblique and Akeem. Yeah? That's it for now. On the women's side, Leighton just said it. You don't go to 5 Olympic Games and don't know how to gauge and prepare yourself. So I wouldn't worry too much about Shelley and Fraser. You asked me about the men, but I was just touching a little on the Shelley and situation since the Olympic was what sparked this conversation. So you don't go to 5 Olympic Games and don't know how to prepare. I wouldn't worry too much about Shelley and what she's going to do. Leighton said it, and I agree with him. What you worry about now is how good she is at the moment. She knows how to prepare. But what kind of performance can we expect from her, given we've only seen her once this year? And then right behind her, there's a massive bunch of people who are just dying to get on. And we're living in a country right now who is afraid of the breakup of the top three, or the era that they've got become so used to since 2008. It will break up at some point, and we're seeing the transition of it. All right, on the men's side, the men's 400 meters, we've got the world champion, Antonio Watson. Up to 3 or 4 days ago, it was certain he wasn't going to be at a championship. And then suddenly he's going to be, because the coach had a time trial for him, and they like what they saw, so they're going to put him there. I just think 2 races, though, are not going to be enough for him. I think he needs a 3rd race, and I'm just watching to see. I can't say it's a certainty to get on the team. Rashawn Clark is going to be, for me, one of these certainties at the championship to get on the national team for the 400 hurdles. This boy's running 48 right now. Last year he wasn't running this fast, but he got to the final of the World Championship and finished 4th. So he's going to be a good one as well. The 200 meters, you see, the spread that we have in the men's side is not as consistent as on the women's side. So I'm still holding on to see what happens there. And we could go on and on and on, but those are some of the notables that people are going to come to the championship and have a look at.
Yeah, and when you have to definitely mention a young man by the name of Jaden Hibbert, who's one of the best triple jumpers in the world and could become the first Jamaican to actually win Jamaican man, sorry, I should say, to win a medal at the Olympic Games in the triple jump. He jumped 17.55 this year, 17.75, sorry, which puts him in the top 5 in the world. If you're actually top 3, I think only the 18.18 and 18.04 are better than his performances this year. And based on the reports that I'm getting, we might see something even special, very special on the national championship this weekend, as well as Rashid Broadbell as the fastest in the 100.
Yeah.
And perhaps a returning Omar McLeod, who's run 13.29 and 13.25 in his last meet just a couple of weeks ago. So there's a lot to look forward to. I know we're a country that's bred on speed and the 100 meters and 200 meters, but what we've seen over the past few years is a diversification of the talent pool, where Jamaica is not just strong now in the sprint. It's strong now in a lot more events. I mean, we're talking about Wayne Pinnock, Kerry McLeod, Tajay Gill in the long jump. If you remember the World Championships last year, Jamaica came 2nd and 3rd. And it would have probably been 1st and 3rd had it not been for one Kentoglu who won on literally his last jump of the competition, beating Wayne Pinnock by 2 centimeters. So you're looking at a stronger, more diverse Jamaican talent pool in terms of track and field. There's a lot to look forward to at the national championship.
Oh,
indeed.
A whole lot.
Yeah.
A whole lot to look forward to.
At the national trials, and then as we count down to the Olympics. Yeah. Leighton Levy, sports analyst, Wayne, or sports editor here at Nationwide. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
You
good.
too.
Same to you.
Gonna take a break, and when we come back from the break, we'll be having a conversation with the Minister of National Security, Dr. Horace Chang, about the Haitians, so-called caregivers, who have been sent back to Haiti.
Listen up, motorists. Speeding burns more gas. So slow down. The life you save may be your own, and also that of your loved ones. Slow down. Save lives and money. The time by the Insurance Association of Jamaica is
40 minutes to 8 o'clock.
At Hawkeye, our mission is to deliver cutting-edge security solutions to help you keep track of the things you value most.
The temperature by Hawkeye is...
It's 29 degrees here in capital city Kingston, 27 out west in Montego Bay.
Plan your tomorrow today. Introducing JMMB's Hello Future Retirement Planning website. Figure out how much you'll need to be set for life with our calculated tools and tips at your fingertips. Visit hellofuture.jmmb.com and start your journey to your dream retirement today. Conditions apply.
Attention all commuters. Your JUTC fares just got lower. Use your Smarter card today and pay only $50. Yes, only $50. Travel safe and hassle-free with the JUTC using your Smarter card. But wait, there's more. Get 3 free rides with your first Smarter card top-up before May 31. With your Smarter card, paying your fare is easier. Say goodbye to coins and hello to hassle-free travel. Don't miss this opportunity when you travel with the JUTC, your route to excellence. Conditions apply.
The Coconut Industry Board is hosting its annual meeting of coconut growers June 29, 2024 at the Jamaica Conference Center, 14 to 20 Port Royal Street, Kingston at 10 a.m. Hear the benefits of registered coconut growers, modern research and developments on climate-smart agriculture, the modernization of the Coconut Industry Board, and strategic growth of the sector. Farmers can voice concerns and provide solutions. We look forward to your attendance as we are seeding for the future.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. Information Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon has revealed that 12 of the 14 Haitian adults who were returned to their homeland on Tuesday were not caregivers as previously thought. The individuals came to the island in March, and the Jamaican authorities were told that they were here to assist with the care for a group of orphans who were rescued from the political and social turmoil in Haiti. But speaking with Nationwide News on Wednesday, Dr. Morris-Dixon says 12 of the 14 came under false pretense. We are due to be joined by the Minister of National Security, Dr. Horace Chang, to speak on the matter, to hear from him in a bit more details what informed the government's decision to send back the Haitians. He is on the line, yes. Good morning to you. Dr. Chang?
Yeah, good morning.
Morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide this morning. If you could provide us with some more information, Dr. Chang, about the circumstances that informed the government's decision to send back these 12 of the 14 Haitians who had presented themselves as caregivers when they came with the orphans from Haiti in March.
Well, I'm the report we got from the...
Not hearing you so well, Dr. Chang.
From the report, hear me better now?
Not quite, you know. I don't
You
know
have
if
you have us on speaker, Dr. Chang?
No, I just turn on the speaker.
All right, go
it's
ahead.
Much better now. Mm-hmm.
All right. They came under access. The Mustard Seed Community Jacobs Ladder facility. Is that of the 14 individuals? 14.
Dr. Chang, I don't know if it's where you are. You're hearing some like a reverb and feedback there.
No.
Or the room might be echoing, not sure.
Nothing else is here. Is that clear now? I mean, I shift a little bit. Sure.
Continue.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Of the 14 caregivers, only 2 appear to have been caregivers in terms of how they operated. They apparently had no training, no understanding of caregiving. And they're basically very troublesome. They did not accept the direction of the role of the center. They were moving in and out. In fact, one of them, who appears to be some kind of a leader, actually got a card here, when he got here from whatever source, and will basically secretly take charge of the children. There was a credibility issue with the Hate the Children so-called charity. And in the end, I think the Mustard Seed Committee realized that they had to get caregivers themselves. Two of them, I said, had some language skills and some caregiving skills, and they had to get local caregivers to do the work. In the process, they were also giving some problems because they were not taking care of the kids properly and then convey that to the public as a failure of Mustard Seed Committee. So I think the Mustard Seed Committee has, in fact, laid out their case quite clearly publicly from our point of view as a government and as a responsible agency. The members actually came here and came under false pretense. They did not meet the condition of their land to the caregivers, and the immigration said to send them back home.
Two things that you just mentioned, Dr. Chang. One of them, you said that the persons that came with the orphans were seeking to take charge of them out of Mustard Seed.
Well, that was part of the international Mustard Seed. They're trying to look at. They're not providing the Mustard Seed Committee. They're not caregivers, and there was an attempt to really have them seek if they could be relocated. Of course,
They were seeking to have the orphans relocated.
To take charge of some of them, right? This, the name of the gentleman, I think, I don't recall, but one of them was involved. The care, we did not allow the children sponsor to land because her conduct and the approach she had was not considered appropriate.
What was that conduct and approach, if you could tell us?
Because you mentioned that there were credibility issues with the organization.
Yes, some credibility issues. Had we done proper due diligence, had we done due diligence before, we might have linked her with it at all. Helping the kids was not an issue. The institution which they were was at risk, and the private sector had contact with individuals, and they're working with Mustard Seed to provide an alternative residence for the kids, and that was not a problem. The alleged charity is a problem. And,
What exactly about this alleged charity is the problem, Minister? That's what we're trying to understand. If you can give us the information.
They do not have the support, the conduct of the ladies, in terms of what is she seeking to, what is her objective. She doesn't have a track record of genuine care. And we have confirmed that with our home state. And generally, just she came in, she was abusive at the airport. She behaved in a very hostile manner. And I said her connection to some of the people who were not caregivers, which are like the caregivers, raised several issues. It's kind of the professionals who are involved with explain. But we did not land her, and we are not going to land her at all, quite frankly.
When you say you're not going to land her at all, so if she makes another attempt to come to Jamaica, what will...
We don't prevent her from coming. This is our country. And anybody who behaves in a manner that may bring us in the disrepute, we don't have to allow them in. Had it not been for the Mustard Seed Community, had it not been for the strength and the integrity of the Mustard Seed respected international Catholic charity, Jamaica's name would have been dragged through the mud. And that's what, so, we just have to be careful.
Will the authorities...
There are people who seek to literally, make gain of the poverty of the people in Haiti. Mm-hmm. That is a reality, unfortunately. And we have to be careful. They come as good Samaritans bearing gifts, but the intention and the motive is quite they have other ulterior motives. And it is, once you detect that, you have to deal with it.
Minister,
I cannot charge you, but that's the reality we have detected.
So is it that you're saying you saw enough to suggest that there was a money-making scheme behind this charity?
Well, we had enough information and both background and the conduct of the office that this thing was not credible. And in fact, we're investigating whether or not they are not in a ring to try and get people out of, when I would say trafficking at this point, but getting in some of these young people out of Haiti for different reasons. What their reasons, I don't know.
Right, that's what I wanted to ask you, Minister, as it relates to the concern of trafficking. A tender balance, it seems, the government will have to take as it relates to helping children and young people, but also the very concerns of trafficking. How do you foresee the ministry and its authorities balancing that going forward?
No, we investigate every case. Because we are concerned helping the kids who are at risk, especially the challenged kids who are dealing with, which are orphans and mentally and physically challenged, was not an issue. And that's why we are continuing to work with the mustard seed community. The private sector is still involved, and they're doing an excellent job. But this alleged charity, and I can't go beyond that, is not credible, and we are not working with them. And we have to monitor all such activities. There's a fine line between people and smugglers, maybe a better term to use, and those who are seeking humanitarian relief.
Dr. Chang, you mentioned that one of the Haitians had come here and had gotten a car and was driving up and down. Was he one of the persons that has been sent back to Haiti, or is he still at large?
He's one of the two that's missing still. We have the police is searching for him, but he's linked, of course, to those who are allegedly involved in charitable activity. But he seems pretty well off and well organized. So the police have been asked to track him down. They have been given some addresses where they are linked, but they have not been able to identify him to apprehend him as yet.
There are also reports that a child was missing. Any information on the whereabouts of that child?
There are two of the caregivers and one of the child. This caregiver who came as a kind of supervisor was the one who took him out of hospital, and the police said is investigating and tracking those two people.
So the authorities have still not located the child?
No.
Or those two other people?
Yeah.
Okay. Just going back to the Haiti children and the founder of the organization, where the authorities have some concerns about her, and you said if it was that she was to make another attempt to come here, that the authorities would turn her back. Is it that the authorities would go as far as to impose a prohibition order on that Haiti children founder?
Well, we examine that as you speak.
We missed what you just said, Dr.
So I'm examining that as we speak. I've had the Immigration Authority and the legal lines put that to examine the possibility of doing that.
Yeah.
But it's very real chat. Her conduct is not credible, and I'm not allowing her to sully Jamaica's good name.
A final one from me, Dr. Chang. Any of the caregivers, any of the people that came in that group with the orphans remains in Jamaica? Any of them still here?
Two were genuine caregivers from all reports, and they are working at the Mustard Seed Committee satisfactory. We have no problem with that.
Okay.
The other two have absconded, and we're tracking them down.
Okay.
Dr. Horace Chan.
So technically, there are 4 people in there who
right.
From the group. Two
that are legal and 2 that are have absconded.
Yeah.
And 12 have been repatriated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Dr. Horace Chang, the Minister of National Security, giving us some updates on the Haitians who were repatriated yesterday. Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Chang.
No problem. Right. Have a good day.
Same to you, Doc.
Gonna take a break for Across Jamaica.
Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales. For a better choice in the electrical business.
Clearing personal, non-commercial shipments at the port? Avoid the wait. Request a contactless clearance through your agent today. It's more efficient. It's secure. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
8:01.
From the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside, it's Across Jamaica this morning.
Taking you across Jamaica this Thursday morning, I'm Tona Thomas. Transport Minister Darrell Vaz says the Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, will use just over 20 buses to service hilly routes in the Kingston Metropolitan Transport Region, KMTR.
Those 24 buses are specific buses to deal with the hill routes. And the hill routes are Stony Hill going up into the border, Temple Hall, and of course Papine going up into Irish Town, Mavis Bank, Garden Town, those areas. Those areas require a specific type of bus because of the road network. So they have to use smaller buses to be able to. So it's not just about the big CNG buses that you see going from Papine to Halfway Tree and from Spanish Town. It's also to deal with the hill routes where the kids come down in the morning with the parents to work and go back up in the evening.
Minister Vaz says the JUTC is working to have the buses in place for the start of the new school year in September.
Right now, we are at almost rock bottom. I think we may have 3 or 4 of them that are in proper use. So getting 8 more for back to school and 16 by the end of the year will be a huge impact for those areas. And I see it when I drive. Waiting time sometimes up to 2 hours. And there's no other bus you can improvise and put on those routes because of the terrain. And they have to be specially manufactured as well for suspension, etc. So for those rural folks, they are especially East Rural St. Andrew, West Rural St. Andrew. Those constituencies that have those areas can look forward to some reprieve within another few weeks.
Darrell Vaz, Minister of Transport, he was speaking at the post-cabinet media briefing on Wednesday. The Minister in charge of Water, Matthew Samuda, says the JLP government is best suited to spend the $5 billion needed to fix Jamaica's water infrastructure problems.
Water is not a complicated topic, but it is an expensive topic. To fix water and sewage in Jamaica, the World Bank estimates is about $5 billion. To fix water and sewage in Kingston and St. Andrew is about $1 billion. So we can't leave that to no workless and no lie. We need a serious government run by Andrew Michael Holness to ensure that the $1 billion is well spent.
Senator Matthew Samuda, Minister with responsibility for water. The Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining will provide 400 fishermen and women with vouchers this year under the Fisheries Incentive Program. The vouchers will enable the fisherfolk to purchase fish gear and equipment. Additionally, the ministry will provide 14 young fishers across the island with grants of $120,000 each. Another 100 fishers will get safety equipment, including very high frequency or VHF radios, boasting global positioning system or GPS capabilities. And that's it for Across Jamaica for this Thursday morning. I'm Tona Thomas.
Is your money idling when it could be thriving? With CIBC Caribbean's fixed deposit offering, you can take charge of your cash. With 50,000 Jamaican to start, choose terms from 30 days to 2 years. Lock in your funds and enjoy premium rates guaranteed to grow your wealth. Whether you're eyeing short or long-term gains, our fixed deposit account puts you firmly in control of your money. Now is the time to open a CIBC fixed deposit account and start earning more today. CIBC, ambitions made real.
The Jamaica Observer is always ahead. But did you know we're also #1 by far? With over 18 million page views on our website, over 800,000 followers on Instagram, and a following of over 500,000 followers on Twitter,
We're tapping into an audience like no other.
and the numbers don't lie. Contact the Jamaica Observer team today to reach your target audience. Give us a call at 470-9172 to advertise with us.
The #1 by far.
Presenting another finalist in the 2024 Jamaica Festival Song Competition.
This is Lorenza Rowe, otherwise known as Renza. The title of my song is Wamba Jamaica.
Wamba Jamaica. Gimme my Jamaica.
Cause them a come in like a vulture. Want me, want back Jamaica.
Jamaica
Want me
Festival
son, want my
2024.
daughter.
When last you get good bun, you don't know good bun until you have a mother's bakery bun. From you pull open the wrapper and it's soft so till. A sub bun for nice. And from when you take the first bite, love it so till. A sub bun for nice. Beg your piece.
Get your own mother's bakery bun.
I will buy one off you.
Yes, but I will charge a convenience fee.
I will take one.
Me too.
Mother's bakery buns. A sub bun for nice. Try them today.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. Turning our attention now to the portfolios of culture and entertainment, overall the creative industries. The opposition spokesperson on cultural and creative industries, Dr. Deborah Hickling-Gordon, is calling for a comprehensive development plan for cultural and the cultural and creative industries. In a statement to the media on Wednesday, Dr. Hickling-Gordon says she is disappointed with the recent update on the nation's cultural economy presented by the Portfolio Minister Olivia Grange during her sectoral presentation in the House of Representatives. Dr. Hickling-Gordon criticized the lack of clear plans, policies, legislation, and a comprehensive framework for developing Jamaica's cultural economy in the minister's presentation. Dr. Hickling-Gordon joins us now. Good morning to you.
And how are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Very, very well. It's a lovely rainy morning.
It is indeed. Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide this morning.
Thank you.
If you could expound a bit more from what we just told our listeners, Dr. Hickling-Gordon, of what you made of the minister's presentation.
What I made of her presentation? Well, generally, in the last 8 years, we have been hoping in the cultural and creative economy for an approach to cultural and creative industries that takes the sector seriously, that moves it beyond an entertainment framework, that moves it into the realm of becoming a cultural economy, a driving force for not only economic but social development in cultural and creative in Jamaica. And cultural and creative industries has that potential. But it doesn't happen arbitrarily. It doesn't happen by stringing a couple of projects together. It requires putting together a framework. It requires bringing the cultural and creative environment to the table. It requires, there's a great deal of work that happens behind the scenes that needs to be solidified into a framework that we now move forward for the development of cultural and creative industries. And when we talk about cultural and creative industries, when I talk about cultural and creative industries, I talk about those 20 subsectors that have been identified. Yes, 20. It's such a huge area. That have been identified that have cultural and creative elements within them that are of economic and social development value.
And based on her presentation and where you see the cultural industries in Jamaica now, to your mind, what are the gaps? Where are the gaps?
The gaps are actually in the planning. The gaps are that we have not been able to identify what the cultural and creative industries are. We've not been able to measure them. We've not been able to say completely where we are going in terms of the development of the cultural and creative environment. We've not been able to set objectives, clear objectives. We've not been able to develop a policy. We've not been able to develop the legislation, which I understand is in progress. The gaps are that we have not connected the dots. There are a number of elements of work that are happening in various parts of the government and within the cultural and creative industries. And the truth is, the cultural and creative industries is at a level of capacity. There are many people who are working within the sector who require a framework that will now bring them over the threshold towards, kind of thriving.
Some of the cultural industries, some of the cultural industries in Jamaica, music, film, culinary and gastronomy or food and craft, fashion and performing arts. You don't see any sort of proper trajectory or plan in relation to those particular industries within.
Can you show it to me?
Well, for example, for music, I think there has always been a route to linked with tourism, to have more festivals in different parts of the country and linking that to tourism. There has been the same push for gastronomy in Jamaica.
That was actually around in the early 2000s in terms of a planned action.
And they've built on that. Is there something within it that you say that you believe is not there that can make it much better?
Well, first of all, we need to identify what those cultural and creative industries are.
I just listed some of those.
Some of those. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is that the framework has not been established within policy to determine conclusively what they are. There are about 6 or 7 ministries, and each one lists different industries. And so there is no planned action for sustainable development of the cultural and creative industries. I have a table I can send it to you. I can send you a whole study that shows you where the gaps are.
Mm-hmm. To your mind, how can it be better?
How can it be better? Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, we need to coalesce around the sector. We need to put the artists and the industry at the center of planning. I heard a lot about infrastructure, but I didn't hear anything about speaking with the people of Portmore. I didn't hear anything about a competitive environment within which some of the projects are taking place. And a lot of it, kind of leaves it wide open because we're very unclear. The information coming out of the ministry is very, very unclear. That's one of the issues. We have identified a 5G strategy. Essentially, we are looking at moving the cultural and creative industries from an analog thinking. And when I say analog thinking, I'm talking about thinking about cultural and creative industries as merely entertainment and moving it to developing an ecosystem. And an ecosystem that deals with social and economic development. We're looking at growth. We're looking at putting a governance structure around cultural and creative industries. Again, I'm telling you, there are 6 ministries that are responsible for the primary cultural and creative industries development policy. We're also looking at ensuring that there is a robust inclusion in the industry. What we see a lot of is that there is selective exclusion. So there are some groups that will tell you that there are some groups that will tell you that they find it difficult to make a connection and that they are excluded from this and that. So
some groups like which groups?
Some of these are private entities that I wouldn't want to name. I'm just telling you as a principle some of the issues that we are faced. So inclusion is a huge part of the of our focus. Transparency. We want to see a move where the ministry is moving from a competing with the industry it is meant to facilitate. And by that I mean I want us to now start to have competitive procurement processes within the ministry, so that a bid will go out for things like Grand Gala or some of the other projects and activities, so that more people have access to participating in those economic activities and cultural activities.
You don't think enough? You don't think there is inclusivity in the production of Grand Gala?
I think that in terms of the management of the Grand Gala product, I know that there is not a competitive environment in terms of that process.
Doc, you mentioned legislation, a lack of legislation.
Yes.
What legislation do you want to see in the cultural industry?
Many countries of the world have creative industries, Cultural and Creative Industries Act. Now, there is a Cultural and Creative Industries Act that I understand is being developed, but the industry has not been told what the structures of that legislation is. So, for example, in 2014 actually, we had developed an organization called the National Cultural and Creative Industries Commission. It was a representative organization in which representatives of each of the professional organizations in cultural and creative industries would sit with all of the ministers that are involved in cultural and creative industries policy development. And that organization, when the administration changed, moved from a commission to a council, and they adopted the name Jamaica Creative. The legislation, I would imagine, would be around this entity, which would represent the planning and development of cultural and creative industries. It would define what we mean by cultural and creative industries definitively. It would speak about how the status of what we call the status of the artist. It would examine how we are going to make the lives of artists better through some of the things that I mentioned in the news release: access to finance, trade, marketing, training.
Okay, so I get the gist of what I get the gist of what you're saying that to cover, but what exactly would that change in the cultural industry as it is now? That's not already being contemplated.
It would facilitate growth.
Usually in a doc, legislation alone doesn't facilitate growth. There has to be some implementation and execution from a government point of view.
It is the implementation of the measures that would absolutely facilitate growth. Okay, so let's talk about some of the things that only governments can do, right? Let's talk about things like facilitating trade. There are things like co-production agreements that only government can facilitate. If these are re-examined, then we can provide for relationships between Jamaica and other countries, for the making of films, for issues to do with freedom of movement of our cultural and creative practitioners. There are some things that only government can do. Okay. And we want to be clear that these things now need to be brought into the middle of the planning, and the creative industries need to be part of those discussions in order to move them forward.
Okay. Final question before you go, Dr. Heckling Gordon. If you were to be given the post, what would be your priority? Because you can't hit everything all at once based on what you're saying. What would be your priority, the low-hanging fruit or the high-hanging fruit that you would aim for first things first?
The first thing that I would want to do is to establish what we call an enabling environment portfolio, which means finding ways to facilitate those cultural and creative practitioners who are amongst the working poor. 50% of our cultural and creative industries are earning under $200,000 per annum, they reported in a particular study. And I would want to immediately come up with a raft of policies that addresses the vulnerable cultural and creative environment.
I see. Dr. Deborah Heckling Gordon is the opposition spokesperson on cultural and creative industries. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Good. That's 8:21. We go for the break.
Crisp and refreshing. Room temperature or chilled. A Pure Water would drink. The time by Pure Water is
8:22.
Is there a small business person in your community making a big difference? Do they inspire you and others? How are they helping? Let the Supreme Ventures Foundation know who is your Supreme Community Hero. Nominate yours and we will select 5 community-based businesses to receive a grant to invest in their business and in the community, plus entrepreneurial training. So, who is your Supreme Community Hero? Visit sv-foundation.com to nominate your Supreme Community Hero now. Nominations close July 26.
On your mark, set, get ready to go. It's time for the True Juice 5K, the one-of-a-kind experience taking you through the beautiful True Juice orchards in Boardwalk, Sunday, July 21, 2024. Register now at truejuice.com. Entry fee only $2,500. Come run, walk, and have fun while raising funds for the Linset Hospital. Follow at True Juice on Instagram for more details.
The best Burger King with the best tasting burger under the sun. You deserve the best, you are number one. Best. Flame grilling, juicy whopper, cause you deserve it. Yeah, next level, awesome, that's how we serve it. My menu done your way. You got the taste rules every day. Flame grilled goodness, you deserve it. Great taste, well done. More flavor, fresh Burger King, best tasting burger under the sun.
Building wealth the smart way means you have a clear mission for your money. Specific and measurable means defining the reason for your financial goals. Achievable and realistic means keeping those goals meaningful, yet attainable. Think more retirement, less world's richest. Timely means keeping a time frame in mind so that all efforts remain focused.
Visit barita.com/opportunities for more growth coach insights.
Is there a small business person in your community making a big difference? Do they inspire you and others? How are they helping? Let the Supreme Ventures Foundation know who is your Supreme Community Hero. Nominate yours and we will select 5 community-based businesses to receive a grant to invest in their business and in the community, plus entrepreneurial training. So, who is your Supreme Community Hero? Visit sv-foundation.com to nominate your Supreme Community Hero now. Nominations close July 26.
Accelerate your career with the right ally. Mona School of Business and Management. Explore our suite of highly ranked, specialized, globally competitive graduate degrees, including our internationally accredited MBA program. At MSBM, we nurture critical thinkers and innovative leaders, placing our graduates in a league of their own. Join the community of trailblazers making an impact at home and abroad. Apply online today. Global knowledge, regional solutions.
With so much to do in one location, make Megamart your one-stop shop. Pick up your groceries and houseware needs, grab a bite and pay some bills, fill your prescriptions and see the beauty products in our pharmacy. All in one amazing location. My Megamart, the best value by far.
Taste it, eat it, drink it, applaud it. The 25th staging of the Jamaica Observer Table Talk Food Awards, the Caribbean's premier culinary event, powered by MasterCard, takes place Thursday, June 27th, Devon House. The one-night-only evening of excellence in food creation, service and event decor is sponsored by Tasty, Tourism Enhancement Fund, Red Stripe, Johnny Walker, Sagicor, The Best Dressed Chicken, Appleton Estate, Pepsi, Suppligen, Eve, Gold Silver Sinker, Rainforest, Main Event, Island Car Rentals, King Alarm, Megamart and Derriman Trading. Adults 18 years and over. Drink responsibly.
Data Protection Matters is brought to you by Design Privacy. We help you comply and build trust.
Welcome to another episode of Data Protection Matters, powered by Design Privacy here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm your host, Chantal Thompson. We have here with us Chuck Cameron, founder of Design Privacy and a privacy expert. Welcome, Chuck.
Hi, Chantal.
Right. So, the Office of the Information Commissioner announced that all data controllers are tasked with fulfilling 5 essential obligations outlined in the DPA. One of the obligations includes appointing a data protection officer. This is what we'll be discussing on this week's episode. Let's dive right into it. So, Chuck, who is a data protection officer?
So, Chantal, I have to be thinking about listeners are just joining us today. So just want to recap what we have done so far. We're now 30 days into this new data protection regime, and the Information Commissioner has identified certain persons that must register now. So over the past few weeks, we identified what those were. You need to be telling the Information Commissioner whose personal data you're processing. You need to be telling her why you're processing it. You need to be telling her who you're sharing it with. You need to tell her what are the lawful bases for processing it. And you need to be telling her how you intend to collect it or protect it. In addition to that, now, as part of the registration exercise, as you have rightly said, you need a data protection officer. So the legislation tells us who a data protection officer. It's actually a position that is created by the law. A data protection officer is that person whose singular focus is on the protection of the privacy rights of the individuals, of the citizens of Jamaica. They play a unique role. They sit between the citizen of Jamaica, the data controller, and the Office of the Information Commissioner. So data controllers are required to appoint a data protection officer, and it is a data protection officer who has these several responsibilities. One, they have the responsibility of ensuring that the data controller implements the data processing standards and the data compliance framework that is set out in the legislation. They also have the responsibility of being that touch point for your data subjects, because data subjects have rights. A data subject or a citizen of Jamaica can knock on your front door and say, hey, give me all the information you have. Somebody needs to be in charge of that, and that is your data protection officer. The data protection officer also has a very critical responsibility of holding the data controller accountable. It is often said that a data protection officer is a whistleblower when there's a breach. No, that is not so. The data controller is the primary whistleblower. The data controller has a responsibility to report to the Office of Information Commissioner any breach that they suffer or they are exposed to. What the data protection officer does, the data protection officer would ask Mr. CEO, tell me, how long will it take for you to fix this non-conformity? If it is, he says 30 days, 60 days, the data protection officer then has a responsibility to follow up with the CEO and find out if they have indeed remedied the breach. If they have not, he then has a responsibility to report directly to the Office of the Information Commissioner. But the first person that is to report to the Information Commissioner in an instance of a breach is the data controller.
So is it considered a conflict of interest if a communications officer of an organization is appointed as the DPO?
It depends. If it is the communication officer is processing personal data in the discharge of its function as a communication officer, the answer to that is yes, because the legislation says that there shall be no conflict of interest. And I'd love to explain what a conflict of interest is in the circumstances.
All right, well, time is against us. So join us in the next episode as we discuss conflict of interest and who should appoint a data protection officer. If you have not started compiling your registration particulars or you do not know where to start, then you definitely need to tune in to the rest of the program. For more information on how to gather your registration particulars or how Design Privacy can get this done for you, email us at info@designprivacy.io. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at design_privacy and also connect with us on LinkedIn at Design Privacy. Stay informed and stay secure.
Data Protection Matters is brought to you by Design Privacy. We help you comply and build trust.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8:32.
Drive Hyundai Hyundai vehicles beyond your dreams with an exclusive 5.99% interest rate. Yes, shop Hyundai vehicles and get a super low 5.99% interest rate on your car loan. Plus 2 years free service, 1 year insurance, and 5 years warranty. Offer valid on all 2024 Hyundai vehicles. Drive your Hyundai with the lowest interest, 5.99%. Conditions apply.
Eliminate the hassle of managing multiple medications that can be confusing. Thanks to Houghton's Pharmacy. Introducing RX Pack, a mobile app available in the App Store and Google Play Store. RX Pack is specially designed for you to order and manage your medications. Download today for free. That's RX Pack for better medication management. Call 876-RX-0-RX-RX or visit our website, HoughtonsRx.com for more details.
Jumpstart your fitness goals with Express Fitness. Sign up today and restart your fitness journey at an Express Fitness location near you. Enjoy safe, comfortable, and well-equipped gyms from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. Call 554-5180 for a full listing of our open locations. Express Fitness. Express Fitness. Your goal, our mission.
Come into the parlor, there's a welcome there for you.
Welcome to the Mayor's Parlor with Desmond McKenzie.
From 1 to 6 p.m. every Sunday, you'll now get more of your favorite vintage music.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Nationwide 90 FM will transform your Sunday into a musical time machine that will take you way back.
Come on, let's go back in time.
This magic moment.
Journey into yesteryear with Desmond McKenzie in the Mayor's Parlor.
I've got the music to jog your memory and make you smile.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the best in vintage music.
Come into the Mayor's Parlor every Sunday between 1 and 6 p.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Informative, educational, insightful. Let's talk justice. Tackling topics like constitutional rights and reform, domestic violence, and rights issues that affect you. Let's talk justice every Monday starting June 24 from 1 to 2 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM. Call in, share your thoughts, be empowered, know your rights, and let's talk justice, ensuring access to justice for all, courtesy of Jamaicans for Justice.
.36, yeah, final couple minutes on the ride on Friday Eve, and The National Junior and Senior Championships start today. Yeah, start today, June 27, and ends on June 30th. And of course, in Nationwide Style and Fashion, we have tickets for you. Yeah, so we have VIP tickets actually for today, for Thursday's sitting. We don't call it a sitting. For Thursday's event. We have VIP tickets for you, yeah? So
too much about the court side.
Yeah, man. So how we gonna run this now? We're gonna ask them some question and them call in and answer. Alright. So
there are 2 tickets that we'll give to YouTubers and 2 for our callers.
Okay.
So 2 for YouTubers, 2 for callers.
2 for callers. Alright.
And our producer Michelle is saying the 2 tickets for it goes to a YouTuber. So you answer the question, you get 2 tickets.
So for the caller, them get 2 tickets too?
So
2
tickets for 1 caller and 2 tickets for YouTuber.
So we don't want you to be lonely in VIP by yourself. So we're giving you a +1. Yeah. And all who have +1 have to get a +1. Alright. So what's the first question? Who are we going to first? Callers or the YouTubers?
Tell us the lines first.
The numbers are 630-937-124. Yeah, 630-937-124. And our digital line is 618-8255.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Ask the question, you know. So
go ahead and ask that question.
Yeah? So what we're doing? YouTube or callers?
So let's do the YouTube first.
YouTubers first.
Yeah, you had a question. Okay, we laughed about it. But go ahead and ask.
So, all right, my question, because we don't know much otherwise, you know. Which athlete do I represent in a matter against the J3's disciplinary committee? Which athlete does Saeed Bernard represent in a matter concerning the J3's disciplinary committee? Yeah?
So, all right, let me pull up the chat.
So, first and last name.
Easy.
Easy answer.
Yeah. We have callers. So if we get a caller that
if
answers
we get a caller, we'll take the caller
correctly, we'll give the caller the first 2 VIP tickets for the National Junior Senior Championships that gets underway today at the National Stadium. And the tickets are VIP tickets. Oh, here comes One Dread with the full answer. I see some of our YouTubers giving only the last name, but Saeed said first and last name. And One Dread is the first YouTuber in the YouTube chat with the correct answer. And One Dread says it's Taekwondo Tracy.
Okay.
Correct. So One Dread. What should Wondred do, Michelle? Give us a call. Yeah, so Wondred, give us a call. Our number is 630-937-124, 630-937-124, so that our producer, Michelle, can arrange for you to pick up your VIP tickets for today at the National Stadium for the trials. Somebody really said Merlene Ossie. PB, you're hilarious. PB says Merlene Ossie. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Well,
but the answer is Taekwondo Tracy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You wanna pull another question out the bag?
Another question.
Give us another question.
Come, give me a question. Where's George? Me just say George Joaquin.
Okay.
All right. But it's easy though.
But ask anyway.
All right. So which country did Elaine travel to speak with a surgeon concerning her injury before pulling out of the J3's trials and the Olympics?
All right. Good question. An easy question.
Easy question.
Yeah. So what's the answer? This one now is for our callers. So the numbers again, 630-937-124. That's 630-937-124. And our digital line, 618-8255. 618-8255. I see the YouTubers with the answer. You are correct, but it's for the callers this time to tell us the same answer you're giving us in the YouTube chat. So you want to repeat the question?
So which country did Elaine Thompson Hero travel to speak to a surgeon concerning her injury before pulling out of the trials and ultimately the Olympics.
We have a caller. Good morning to you.
Good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning.
What's your name?
Wayne Rice.
Wayne Wright. What's the answer, Wayne?
Germany.
That's correct.
Look up yourself, Wayne Wright.
Congratulations to you, Wayne. You win two tickets.
It's actually Wayne Wright at Kingston.
Say the last, the very last thing you said?
Atkinstall.
Okay, so Wayne Wright Atkinstall. Thank you so much, Wayne, for calling in with the correct answer. So stay on the line, Wayne, or producer Michelle will speak to you about picking up your VIP tickets for the National Junior and Senior Championships trials, tickets for today.
Yeah.
All right, so congratulations again, Wayne and Wandred. Look at the Germany's just flooding the YouTube chat. Yeah. So what I'm seeking out tickets for, because Nationwide has already gotten tickets for the trials, so happy and grateful for that. But to the organizers out there for Miss Universe, the organizers of Miss Universe, that's coming up on Saturday, July 6th. Yeah, we're seeking out tickets for that. Yeah, yeah. I'm very, very much interested in Miss Universe this year because of the diversity in the contestants. Yeah, and I have my eyes on a particular contestant. So the organizers out there of Miss Universe, or anybody who knows the organizers of Miss Universe, yeah, man, you should send some tickets our way for Miss Universe. And if you have tickets as well that you want to give away for persons who are interested in pageantry in Jamaica and seeking to attend, yeah, we are right over here at Nationwide 90 FM at 6 Bradley Avenue. So do reach out to us. And I see MS here saying, like up the show, please and thanks. Yes, please and thanks. And I just glanced over at our numbers, and we have 200 new subscribers to our Nationwide 90 FM live channel. So thank you so much to our new subbies for coming on over and joining the NNN fam. Yeah, so ensure that you click the notification bell as well, as I always say, so that every time we post content over here, whether it be a documentary, we're live streaming, or there's some other live coverage that's happening over here on our Nationwide 90 FM live channel, you will be notified. A final thing before we go to our birthdays and anniversaries, YouTubers, we have seen your comments about not hearing NNN in sections of the country, Clarendon, St. James, and Westmoreland. We are working on that for you, so don't worry. We're working on fixing those issues so that you'll be able to hear us again on the 90 FM band. But gonna go to our birthdays and anniversaries next.
Help your child to own a house with an NHT Parent Assist loan. Find out more at nht.gov.jm. The time by NHT is
15 minutes to 9 o'clock.
The Birthday Club is brought to you by Burger King, the best tasting burger under the sun.
find something new. 'Cause what worked so well for you before, for me it just won't do. Love me in a special way. What more can I say? Love me now. Love me in a special way. What more can I say? Love me now. Love me
You know, so I give me the 2 tickets.
Jermaine, you owe tickets, man.
Jeremy, alright, give me 1 ticket. You said 2 tickets, give me 1.
Alright, here's the thing, Said. You answered correctly. Jermaine
Why?
owes you a national trials ticket. And Jermaine owes me a Miss Universe ticket.
That is it. That is
Yeah.
true. That is true.
Yeah.
I can attest to that. I have the evidence.
On the record.
I have the proof.
On the record.
I have the evidence and the proof.
So we're gonna hold you to it, Jermaine. And we're all about accountability in here. So Jermaine owes me
A Miss Universe ticket.
a Miss Universe
And he owes
ticket.
me a Charles ticket.
And I want VIP, okay?
Yeah, VIP, nothing less but the
Nothing.
press.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
want VIP tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So where we put
because
the
we
tickets?
answered correctly the
Hey.
singer of the song
You
that's
d-
playing.
Hey, look, I'm know say one D name. 'Cause remember, you know, my mother place was every Sunday, you know. So I know the tune them, you know. I know the tune them. But when they think of Dian Warwick, but then I realize say no, it's not Dian Warwick, it's the other one. Oh, that looks so nice. Michelle, that look like more Antoine Romanek.
What are those?
Lynette, is it for Lynette? Me? Yeah. Me not understand. yeah. VIP. All right. Say less, honey. Yeah. All right. You see?
Miss Organizer of Tickets.
And a
come
Miss
back.
Universe time yet. But
Call
come
her
back, Miss Lynette.
Miss Lynette. So, could I please?
Me not understand.
She nodded. I didn't even have to finish my request.
No, but me not understand why me don't want to carry down my neck too. Me not understand. More look official. Me wear many hats for a reason, you know.
Oh my gosh.
Media personality by early morning and lawyer by day. What did that move right? No man, something not right just so I forgot to talk to Father Cliff.
It's time to tell some special people happy birthday and happy anniversary. Happy birthday greetings going out to Constable Abijah Rowe in Kingston. Ambrosine Johnson, a retired librarian in Falmouth. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday as well to Tiffany Morrison in Falmouth. Hector Callum in St. James. Happy birthday. All of these greetings are coming from Sergeant Wallace.
And happy birthday to our Facebook peeps, Derek Burns, Blythe Steve, Sandra Johnson, Shanice Smith, Tracy Richardson. Happy birthday to you all.
Checking over on YouTube to see if there is anyone who's celebrating a birthday today or an anniversary. Donna Llewellyn is sending happy birthday greetings. This one says, to my church sister Angela Morgan of Newfield in Manchester. And Donna is saying to you, Angela, blessings, on top of blessings. Enjoy yourself from Sister Donna and the Dorcas Ministry Group.
And happy birthday, Paulette Gowie says to her granddaughter, Esther K. Clark. Happy birthday, Esther K. Those greetings are coming from your grandmother, Paulette Gowie.
Yeah. And Avis S on YouTube is saying, today is my birthday. So happy birthday to our YouTuber, Avis S. Hope you have an amazing one as well.
And birthday greetings going out to the church sister of Donna Llewellyn. That's Angela Morgan.
Yeah, man.
You read that one there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But Angela just making
Should have
sure.
said it again.
Yeah, so we've done that one for you, Donna. Happy birthday again to your friend, Angela.
You're the biggest part of me.
Oh, we have some latecomers. Hold on. I see Maisha Smith sending happy birthday greetings to her friend and sister Chantel Simpson. Happy birthday to you, Chantel. Hope you have an amazing one. And Avis S., all of your YouTuber friends are also sending you happy birthday greetings. Rich Richards, Jamaican, and all of them. So happy birthday again to you, Avis S.
The Birthday Club was brought to you by Burger King, the best tasting burger under the sun.
So we could wash away the past so that we may start anew. Rising up on my shoulder, getting better as a roller. All I wanna do is hold her. She's the life that breathes in me.
A final birthday and a special good morning as well to our peeps over there at Burger King. Good morning to all the hardworking staff members at BK. Good morning to you. Hope you guys are having an amazing morning. A final birthday, Roxana Blackwood sending happy birthday greetings to her daughter Rebecca King, wishing her all the best. She said 26, nice and clean. Love your hugs. Happy birthday to you, Rebecca. And Eric Blair says, Tana, my brother Alan Barrett is recovering from surgery. Please wish him a speedy recovery. Hey to you, Alan. Speedy recovery to you indeed. And good morning to your brother, Eric Blair, who sent that message. So that's about it for the show. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in to Nationwide this morning. NTM, The Big Show. Thanks so much to our technical operator and the musical maestro, Jermaine King, to our super producer, Michelle McCrae Smith. Hey to you, Kimone Thompson. Hope you're feeling better today. And thanks so much to our Deputy Executive Editor, George Davis, in the newsroom. I'm Tana Thomas.
And I'm Said Bernard.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You've just heard Nationwide this morning on Nationwide 90 FM.